What is up, everybody? Welcome to the main event. That's right. We had the soft opening on Dylan's horror show on Saturday with 1980s Maniac. Check out that review after the show. But it's time for the main event, y'all. It's time for the grand opening of Horrorfest 2023. Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I am your host, Rockin' Robbie Bills. Welcome to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise review. And all I got to say is the Saw is family. Station, pop, pop, boom. That's right. Tonight, we're talking about all 9 Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, all the way back to 1974 and the Tobe Hooper classic to the, however you feel about it, 2022 next Netflix version, the Next Flix version. Hey, I got a new idea about Next Flix. Anyway, this is going to be a super fun show. I'm so excited. Welcome to Horrorfest. Why do we do PCP movie night? Well, we like hanging out, talking about movies, but we mostly do it for Horrorfest. We've been doing this shit a long time, and we got a great panel tonight to talk about an interesting franchise. Let's bring him in. The one, the only, the myth, the legend, Verno from Blood Splatter Chatter. How you doing, my man?
What up? What up? Excited to be here, man. I think we've all been through some shit, and we're here to talk about it. We've made it through, and we're here to do it, man.
Yes, absolutely, right? Speaking of making it through some bullshit, man, it's Joe Corallo. What is up, my man?
It's true. I'm a Texas Chainsaw Massacre watcher survivor.
we need those shirts. Those are the post Horrorfest shirts. Thank you for being here, Joe. We also got the man, the myth, the legend, the one and the only as well, Jelani. What is up, my man?
What's up? Pop, pop, boom. The usual station.
Pop, boom.
There's a lot of work going on, man, for this. This was a lot of movies, man. And this is, I don't know, this rivals Hellraiser. I know we're going to talk about it, but.
What are you talking about? All 12 Hellraiser films were great. Don't you remember that from last year? We all gave them high praises.
My
Every
internet.
single one of them.
Right. I'm doing the bit.
Yeah, your internet's going out a little bit, but we can still hear you. Brooks is completely gone. I don't know what happened to Brooks. He was here. I promise y'all. So
they were
Brooks,
the best ever.
Brooks, come home. Snoopy, come home. Like, Brooks, where are you at, man? What's going on?
Is Brooks the smartest one of all of us? Is that what happened?
I'll tell you, the missing 6th panelist is the smartest one. I don't know who backed out or whatever, but
no, there's no way I'm doing a franchise review with 6 people. That would be way too long, man. We're here for a long night. Strap in, y'all. Luckily, everybody's like, y'all are crazy doing 9 Texas Chainsaw movies. Bro, we did 12 Hellraiser films, 13 Friday the 13th or whatever, like 13 Halloweens, 12 Friday 13th. This is easy. This is easy for us, man. This is nothing.
I don't think these movies are going to involve a lot of discussion.
Yeah.
Some shit swinging.
While we wait on Brooks, we got GTK Comic in the house. First, as always, we got Joram in the house. What is up, my man?
Ooh.
We got Lulu. How are you doing, Lulu?
Hey.
We got Clayton. What is up, my dude? Two Gun Pedro has to be in the building. It's Horrorfest. We were waiting on you, bruh. Rogue Collecting in the house. Hey, Joe, how are you in 2 places at once?
Whoa.
That's really freaking
You're
weird.
a clone.
The introspect him is in the house. We got Eli in the house. What's up, my dude? How you doing? Happy Horrorfest, everybody. Red Hood Reviews. Looks like we got a cool collection of people in the. Speaking of cool collections, one collection down. That's our man Fable right there. We got Kenneth in the house. Yeah, there's such sights to show you, but that's not what's promised necessarily in the Texas Chainsaw franchise.
Dirty.
But yeah. All right. Well, we're waiting on Brooks. As we wait on Brooks, let's get started. We got 9 movies to get through. Overall, what do you think about the franchise, Verno?
I had not seen. I just added it up. I hadn't seen 5 of the 9 of these, which is the key reason, other than wanting to hang out with you fine folks, that I wanted to do this. I knew it would force me to go through the franchise. And overall, I think the first one is fucking amazing, and then it gets really, really rough. I'd say overall, I think it's the worst franchise that I have now seen all of the chapters of, which I'm missing some. I haven't seen all of a lot of them, but all of the big ones, I think this is the worst one.
Okay, that makes sense. Joe, what do you think?
Originally, like for a few years, I really was like, Halloween to me was the one that was like the franchise that had like the really strong opening, and then it's really mixed after that. And some people have different favorites in there, but overall, people are usually willing to admit the Halloween franchise is a pretty mixed bag. This is this dethrones it, no question. This is absolutely the franchise that has like the holy shit out the gate. This is incredible. And there may be like, it is very possible we will discuss, like, some of us may like a handful of these more or less, but I'm pretty sure the overall consensus is going to be this is a garbage franchise for idiots.
Bizarro Fett coming out of the gate with a hot take. 4 is the best one, and I will die on this hill.
4
that's
might be the best one outside the original that they spent less than $1 million to make.
That's always specific.
That was filmed in summertime.
Yeah. What about
On
you,
a
Jelani?
Tuesday.
Quickly, overall thoughts on the franchise.
This is a garbage franchise. Oh my god, what the crap, man. These are some of the shittiest movies I've ever seen. Like, all the characters are forgettable. There's like what the fuck every movie is like what the fuck, and Leatherface is a different Leatherface in every movie. Like, he has one name in one movie, and then they call him Jeb in the other movie, and then he's got this backstory, and then he's a thin kid who you think is the fat kid in Leatherface. There's
9 movies.
There's so much work.
Jelani, you got to understand. There's
What?
9 movies. There's 9 different timelines in this
the
franchise.
Cult of Thorn. The Cult of Thorn was better. It was
Cult of Thorn ain't got shit on Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
The Cenobites have more continuity than whatever the hell this is. There's no continuity from movie to movie. We don't know what the fuck is happening. Man, it's so much work. I watched all these, and each one was like, what? The first one is great. It's fantastic. Listen to me on this. This is gonna be a hot
We'll get
take.
to that.
The
We'll
last
get
one
to,
is fire.
so I get the idea that you
But
don't like it
In
very much.
between, it's just wow. These are just
All right.
These are trash, son. These are all right.
So you're trying to say the TCU it ain't is what you're trying to say. All right. So
I think it's very much like it's like
It's so
valleys
dirty.
and kind of
Yeah.
comes
Yeah.
up.
yeah,
Why is every one of them so
we'll
dirty?
go through this journey together, especially with the magnificent one. Brooks is finally in the house. What is up, Brooks? We thought you dipped out. You thought it was I thought you had finally decided watching these movies was enough. I'm not going to talk about them, but I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, man, the Saw's family, man. The Saw's family.
The Saw is family. What do you think about the franchise overall, quickly?
I think it's great. Not really. It's pretty bad. But it does, like, every movie has like something decent about it, but like especially like throughout the first 4, like I you know, I had a hard time getting through those first 4, and you know, it's not like I can't say any of these movies are like, you know, a masterpiece, but the first one surprisingly holds up pretty well, and the newest one I liked surprisingly a lot more than I thought I would.
Yes.
So,
All right.
I still say
it
that.
seems a lot more unnecessary.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these. This didn't need to be a franchise, I don't feel.
Right.
No.
No,
Not
it needed to be a franchise because we're here tonight to talk about it, man. All right, let's do that.
Wow.
My thoughts overall on the franchise are that it's kind of like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Right. It goes up and it goes down, and its lows are very low. And it's got one good high, and it's like that first big drop, you know, and then like, you know, every once in a while you're like, whoa, corkscrew. But the rest of it, you're just kind of going straight, and it's like whatever. We'll get
Like a
to it. All right.
chainsaw corkscrew.
Ooh, nice. All right. We're going to kick it off with 1974, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre by Tobe Hooper, directed by Tobe Hooper, written by him and Kim Hinkle. This is a brilliant film, in my opinion. I absolutely love this film. We've dived way deeper into that film than we will tonight. You can check that out here on Pop Culture Philosophers. We did it for March Madness a couple years ago, I believe. And then on Dylan's Horror Show the next night, we did TCM II. So we go deeper into those movies there. But I'll tell you this. Cast, for the most part, sucks. I really like Gunnar Hansen in the film. Obviously, Franklin is annoying as shit. Maybe he's supposed to be, but the cast does what they're supposed to do. This movie's not about character. This movie is not about the performances. This movie is about the atmosphere. This movie is about the tone that it's bringing, and it oozes that tone. It is absolutely raw. It is visceral. It feels very real, right? And putting it in the context of its time, there weren't many movies like this, right? It went really far to some people. And in fact, it was a video nasty, of course, in the UK. It was banned in Germany or something till 2011. Like, the movie has a reputation, but I think the movie's actually rather smart. It's beautifully shot. The dude who shot this film was not a professional cinematographer. He was an amateur cinematographer, but I can't believe that. Him and Toby Hooper combined together to make a really beautiful looking film where the camera glides and just sleeks across the I almost said stage, but just across your viewing pleasure or whatever. It works so well. And music, you know me, I love music in film. TCM is not the most memorable theme, but that whole like, and the way it's used in this one in particular works so well for me. It provides, like I said, this atmosphere, this tone, this mood that absolutely draws me in. And I still think that this is absolutely one of the best horror movies of all time. The more and more I watch it, the more and more I appreciate it. You out there in the chat, what do you think about the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1974? What do you rate it out of 5, you digs? Verno, why don't you tell us what you think and what you rate it?
My dude, I fucking love this movie. I had a weird experience, man. Like, I've always enjoyed this movie, but just like what you just said, like, I appreciate it more and more every time I see it. I didn't watch it when I was a little kid. I never even like seen it until I was in high school. So I liked it then. I always thought, like, when the movie peaks, like, this is badass. When they're feeding Grandpa and it becomes like almost supernatural, like, that's what I always enjoyed about it. Watching it again this time, it was maybe one of the best movie watching experiences of my entire fucking life. And I'm not even exaggerating at all. Like, it floored me from start to finish. Just like, though I never appreciated so much of the visuals throughout the film, and just like, as soon as the hitchhiker gets there and just like the weirdness that it starts, it's never replicated. The tone and atmosphere that they created in this movie and the strangeness, they try over and over to replicate it until maybe the newest one where they just give up on it. And they never even come close to that atmosphere. They never fucking touch it. And it's just, I think it's like you just said, it's one of the best horror films ever made. It's one of the best movies ever made. And it's dethroning. I think it's my favorite movie. This is my new favorite horror movie. I've seen it like 10 times, but this last viewing, I was like, I just fully appreciated it more than ever. So as shitty as some of these movies are, and as tough as this was to get through, this is the last movie that I watched after watching all of them. I saved it to the end.
Well, you're so smart, bro.
I watched it last night.
We all did it the wrong way. The rest of us did it the wrong way.
I'll just say I started with Leatherface, so we'll get to that down the road. But it was
which Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3 or Leatherface 2017?
2017.
That's a good one to start with.
Neither one were great options to start with, but yeah, there's so much to say on this movie. But editing, sound design, Robbie, I disagree. Like, I think the casting is fucking awesome. I don't really care about the kids, the teenagers. They're kind of whatever. I think Sally is really good. Franklin's clearly the most annoying character in history.
Yes,
but clearly. I've grown to appreciate him as a character and as a performer. But the cook, the hitchhiker,
right. Yeah, the rest of them, yeah,
Sally,
the family, the Sawyer family in particular, like, yeah, you're right. They kill it for sure.
Perfect. Because like, I think when I was a kid, I just thought they were like real people. Like, where do they find these people? And that's how like convinced I was. And it's such a believable movie. Like, throughout, like, that's what sets it apart from the 80s horror films I was raised on, and why I didn't appreciate as a kid was the grounded like realness of this first movie that they never go back to. But
I always like to think of this film as the ultimate end of Scooby-Doo. Like, after they lose Scooby, this is the last adventure.
Yeah.
But I'm giving it a 5, man. If I could give it
Hell
more,
yeah.
I would give it more. It's and I didn't expect to. I fully went into it expecting to give it a 4.5 and to say the beginning isn't that great and Franklin's the worst, but I don't even care about Franklin anymore.
Well,
The rest
the
of it
thing
just
is, though,
bored
it's
me.
set up so perfectly because then, like, you actually cheer when he dies. You're
Right.
almost like, yeah.
Right.
Finally.
And you know, I'm a big supporter of physical media, so I'm glad that you showed yours. There's my Steelbook Blu-ray. There are better editions of this, but that's the one that I have. So.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I have every single one on Blu-ray except for one of them because Netflix sucks. Just release it. Anyway. All right, a 5 from Verna. What about you, Joe? What do you think about the first one?
I mean, it's an incredible movie. This is like part of that like horror renaissance in the 70s. What I think the year before you had like The Exorcist and Wicker Man.
Yep.
Then 74 rolls around, you get this. 75, you get Jaws. I mean, like this is easily like a crucial part of that like reinvention of horror that was going on. I think one of the creepiest moments in any of these films is the first time you get like that glimpse of Leatherface. You opening the door, like you're like, what the fuck is going on? So that bit I think is, you know, hands down one of the best in like a horror movie. You know, like it's incredible. I need to watch this movie more, but I still can't tell if this is a black comedy or not.
Well, Toby Hooper would lead you to believe that it is.
Yeah. But like that last 20 minutes where it's just Sally screaming for 20 fucking minutes, like almost nonstop, like, you know, things like that. I'm like, I think this is funny. Like, I think this is supposed to be fun, you know, like things like that. Like there's
the dinner scene in particular. Like I agree. Toby Hooper would say that because of the criticism of part 2, he was like, the first one's a comedy. And everybody's like, what did you just say, Toby? The record stops.
When the cook is sitting there sticking her with the broom, that's like the funniest bit of the whole movie. He's like, you're going to be fine.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's, again, it's great. It's iconic. It's weird. It's completely different. It's in a lot of ways, and I think there's been like talk about how there's some elements of it where you can see Blair Witch Project lifting a bunch of stuff from this, like this idea of like kind of grounding it in something that sounds real that never happened, and the way they do that throughout the franchise. Like, if I have to hear about the fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre murders that happened in, like, you know, what was it, 1973 over and over again, like every one of these movies, fuck. But
John Larroquette, it kept him in a gig for a while.
Yeah, no, for sure. But no, it's there's so much to say. But I know you all covered it, and God, we have way too many fucking movies. So that's all I'm going to say about this. And I'm giving it a 4.5 though. I think it is. I think it's an incredible movie, but there's that. I think slightly different editing could have added clarity to if this was a black comedy or not. And it's a minor nitpick, but yeah, I'll give it a 4.5.
All right. I mean, 4.5 is still very respectable. But Joe, I do want you to remind you we're in Horrorfest where everybody gets to automatically bump their scores up by at least 0.5. I'm just saying. I mean, you know, it's an option if you want to. That will justify some of my ratings later on tonight. Jelani, what do you think about the first one, man? We've discussed it before, but give us your thoughts again in your new rating.
Yeah, I guess it's a new rating because I can't remember what I really said other than these are the dumbest kids ever to live. Out of all the movies, these are the dumbest. And the three things that they fuck up. One, get gas before you go somewhere, or if you're doing anything, find a gas station, get there and get the gas, then you can keep going. Number two, don't fucking pick up a hitchhiker of any kind. man, woman, donkey, anything on the road. They're like, he's sweltering out there. We better go and get him. No, dummy. You keep driving like everyone else in America. You don't pick up hitchhikers. Number 3, don't walk up in somebody's house. I don't care if the door is open, even in Texas. Don't walk your dumb ass in the house.
Especially in Texas, brother.
Especially in Texas, where everyone has a gun. Which
Maybe in like if you're in Rhode Island, Vermont,
Yeah.
Wyoming, maybe.
maybe. You know, they'll walk in and probably give you a scone or something, or some cheese, a wheel of cheese, and be like, oh, thanks, buddy. But here you fucking die if you walk in somebody's house. I'm sorry. These are the dumbest children I've ever seen. Franklin is the absolute worst. I cannot stand him. I wish there were more Franklins in the other movies. Even the remake should have had a Franklin, because even though he was annoying as shit, it's kind of like a staple kind of character that you need. You need a disabled person. If you're going to keep the tropes of the movies alive, you need to have a disabled person like in there as well. Representation. But I love this film. It's awesome because the kids are so fucking stupid. They're just incredibly dumb. They deserved all the death that they got, all the screams that Sally did for 20 minutes. She didn't technically deserve that, but they still did stupid shit, and she was just the last one to live because she was the smartest of the group. I think she was the smartest of the group. Leatherface is fantastic in this. I love that mask. I love the chainsaw he uses. I love the way he spins it and throws it. The black dude in here is hilarious because he runs off the screen. You just don't see him again. he's just gone. He just runs away. He runs away like you're supposed to. Asses and elbows. He's gone. And I like the cook. I like the guy that cuts himself. I don't remember his name.
Hitchhiker at work.
Yeah, the
That's what they call him in the new video game.
Yeah, he's the hitchhiker. Yeah, I'd have never picked that guy. Look at him clearly and be like, "Nah, son, keep driving." But he's clearly insane. And by the way, the thing that he does in this movie goes to the newest movie on Netflix, and you're like, yeah, he did something in this movie that Sally is doing, like she's reminiscing and shit. And I'm like, you can't reminisce over something that's not there. We'll get there. But it's just like stupid. And none of these have continuity. But this one's great. It's shot great. It's beautifully. It's got a dumb cast. But it's still, to me, it's a horror movie. This is a horror movie. Anytime anybody gets horribly murdered and I'm not laughing, I'm not laughing. I'm just like, oh God, that's a horrible murder. That's it. This is it. This is the movie that you do it. And the first jump scare you get is her, the girl in the refrigerator or in the freezer that jumps out. And it still startles me. Like I've seen this movie like 4 times now, and it's the one I've watched the most of this group because I didn't watch any of the other ones. Like I watched
it's
this
the one that
Netflix
you should watch the most. Let's be honest.
You watched this one the most. So and like his mask isn't really a mask. It's great, but Leatherface is okay in this one. He's a solid murderer. He kills everyone. He's the one that kills everybody. So it's pretty standard. I like it a lot. It's a fantastic horror movie. I'll give this one a 4 or 5 with Joe. I'm with Joe on this 4 or 5. It's
all right. It's
fairly decent. I mean, I don't know what I rated it before, but this is a 4 or 5. But just it loses that point because those kids are dumb as shit.
Yeah,
they're too dumb for words. If I was in that group, I wouldn't be in that group.
You wouldn't be in that group. Friends. They'd be like, hey, we're just going to ride around in Texas, go to our old dilapidated family house. No, thank you.
Yeah, and play around. No, I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, do you got a Walmart or something I can hang out in while y'all doing that? Oh, wait,
all right.
So
we got 2 5s and 2 4.5 so far from the panel. And I do want to mention too, like, it's very famous, but that like scene where they put the chick on the hook, right? There's very little gore seen in this film. There's some blood, there's some gnarly body parts and stuff. There's some nasty bits in this film, but it has the reputation of being like very gory and in your face and nasty and gnarly and Rob Zombie. No, it's not at all. Like at all. You know what I'm saying?
No.
And that scene still fucking gets me. Maybe because we don't see it. Because I think what the somebody told Toby Hooper, if we show the trick, everybody will wonder how we did it. But if we don't show the trick, they're going to feel the effect. And they spin that entire movie. You know, that famous scene of her getting up off of the swing and going to check on her like boyfriend and shit, right? Like everybody thinks that's just like a male gazy ass shot, but it's not. The whole time they're selling her with no back, like on her shirt. So we're seeing her bare back the entire time. They're setting that up, right? So that when that happens, oh my goodness, like you just kind of feel it because you've already been looking all over her backside. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of looking all over backsides, Brooks has a bad habit of that. We have to keep him contained when we go out drinking at Twin Peaks.
Have to wear a blindfold.
Yes, you got to wear blinders on. Brooks, what do you think about the first one, man? You were here for the last time, but it's always a different experience, man. What do you think? What do you rate it?
Yeah, like the first one is the only one I've seen before, and I actually saw it when I was a teenager too, which is I didn't watch a whole lot of slashers as a teenager, but this was one I remember watching with some friends, and I remember liking it pretty well. And I still think it holds up. Like out of all of them, it feels like it's the one that knows what it's doing the most. I kind of watched it this time. Like I kind of noticed this. It kind of feels to me kind of like a journey to the underworld story. Like these kids are on the road and then they wind up in this like hellish situation where all these fucking like crazy demonic hicks are just like all over the place. And I think like the whole idea, like I think the fact that Franklin is the way he is, the way he's kind of irritating, and his disability, he's meant to be like that, because he's meant to be kind of an anchor. He's like something that everybody feels like is holding them back, and that's why he kind of feels that throughout the movie. Like he always feels like everybody just looks at him as a burden or as an annoyance. And like the dinner scene, I don't like it, but I understand. Like it is like the atmosphere behind it, I think works. It only really works in this movie for me. Like any other movie they've done with the dinner scene in it, it just doesn't hit like this one does. So I think like out of all of them, this one feels like the only movie that we really, really needed. Like, because it's just, it's your basic story of, wander off too far off the path and like find some fucked up shit.
I hope that if they ever do like the next time they do like the new release, like when they do the 8K release or whatever the fuck's next, right? That like they have a quote from Brooks, not the quote of like this movie's like the typical mythological story of diving into the underworld, but I hope they just say the only one that was ever needed, Brooks Gibbs.
The truth.
So what do you rate it, Brooks?
I'd give it a 4.5 as well. It is like, it's one of the better, like, slasher style horror movies I think that there is. Like, and there's very little slasher elements to it, really. It's more of a kind of atmospheric, like building suspense type of movie until the end. So yeah, I think it's not too bad.
All right, perfect score of 5 from me and Verno, 4.5 from the rest of the panel, for a PCP average of 4.6666654, 69 dudes. So that's pretty dope. And Verno, I'm sure you're with me, but like knowing that the rest of the panel gave this a 4.5, it's downhill from here. For the rest of the panel.
I knew that before we even fucking started, bro. I don't
even think I said it. I give this movie a 5. Yeah, I give it a 5. I give this movie a 5. This movie's 100% a 5 for me. Like, I don't think I actually said that, so.
Hell yeah.
Did I?
You did now.
You just did. Like,
welcome to Horrorfest, everybody. All right.
Surprise.
Moving on to 1986, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, also directed by Toby Hooper. This was a movie that when I first watched it, I did not like it. My audio's bleeding through on somebody. I don't know who that is. Who's not wearing headphones? Probably Brooks. So I'm not going to point fingers. All right. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Absolutely fantastic. I love this movie. I never liked this movie when I first saw it, y'all. I did not like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 the first time I saw it. I didn't even like it the second time or the third time. But then I think my fourth time was for Dylan's Horror Show, and I was like, you know what? There may be something more to this movie than I realize. This time was my favorite time watching this damn movie, y'all. I absolutely loved it. I was in on the joke, right? And I think to really appreciate TCM 2, you got to be in on the joke. You know what I'm saying? Dennis Hopper, amazing in this movie for what he's doing. Like, I mean, they get Dennis Hopper, first of all. That's a big get. It's a Canon film. Tobe Hooper made a deal with Canon Films for 3 pictures, but one of them had to be a TCM sequel. So he did that, Life Force and Invaders from Mars. Life Force we covered last year on Horrorfest. What a great fucking movie, right? We did that on DHS. I like TCM too. Bill Moseley is the standout performance for me as Chop Top. I do like Leatherface in this film. I love, what's her name? Caroline, what's her name? Plays
Williams?
Stretch. Caroline Williams playing Stretch, who plays Stretch in a multitude of movies. There's this weird like multiverse that has Stretch in it. Yeah, Stretch. She's in this one. She's in a brief cameo in part 3, right? And then she is allegedly playing the same character in Hatchet 3.
I wondered that.
She changed her name and she's still like going through. And then also apparently she's in one of the Sharknado movies as a character named Stretch as well. So, you know, you can follow the journey of that character throughout. I love the film though. I think it's ramping up the black comedy. It's ramping up the 80s horror vibe of it, right? It's definitely TCM in the 80s, right? And it's kind of like playing at John Hughes movies a little bit. I think, you know, like the first movie always gets talked about being like about the deconstruction of the nuclear family and stuff like that. And Tobe Hooper's like crazy. It's just about crazy people eating kids and shit like that. But like the second one kind of goes into it, even so much where the movie poster is a ripoff of Breakfast Club, right? I love this film. The more and more I watch it, the more and more I appreciate it. Bill Moseley sets it over the top. Those special effects, Tom Savini doing the special effects in the second one. We're getting some bad mic feeds from someone. Is that me?
I don't know.
All right. TCM 2, I'm going to give a 4.5. You digs is what I'm going to give it because I just have so much fun with it. Verno, TCM 2, what do you think?
This one, I had never seen this one until like a year ago. I watched it at your recommendation and I got a nice warning ahead of time about the tonal shift. So I knew what I was getting into. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. It's nowhere near the first one, in my opinion. It's fucking not even close, but it's maybe the second best one in the franchise. And for what it is, for them making the decision to go the route that they did, I think it's pretty awesome. And this is the film after watching this and Texas Chainsaw before it or after it, like it gives me a larger appreciation, more of an appreciation for Tobe Hooper, because I'm not the biggest fan of the rest of his catalog. Poltergeist is like the one, but there's a lot of them, even the ones that a lot of people like. I'm not that big of a fan of, but after going through all this franchise,
like Funhouse or something like that.
No, Funhouse is okay, but it's not fucking great. Life Force that they were just talking about in the chat, I fucking try to watch that movie a couple times, doesn't do it for me. Eaten Alive, I didn't enjoy that much, but this one, Brooks, you said about the last one, it was like they knew what they were doing, and this is the other one where they knew what they were doing. I didn't enjoy what they were trying to do as much. I wasn't behind it as much, but they knew what they were doing, and they executed it well. It's shot beautifully. Love the way it looks. It reminds me of a lot of Giallo movies with the way it's shot, and it's just gross enough. My favorite bit is when he's putting there's the whole thing where he's putting the chainsaw to the woman's nether regions, and that is insane. That's just like, that's a scene that I'm surprised I hadn't just heard about, you know what I mean, or just seen the image of, because it seems like it's something that should be iconic and well known, but that's crazy. But overall, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5, and I think it might be another one later on down the road kind of falls in this category. This might be the most rewatchable out of all of them, just because it's easier to get through than the first one. You got to be in the right mood to sit down for the first Texas Chainsaw, but I think I could slap this one on anytime. You know, it's got that fun element.
Yeah, it definitely has a fun element. So what do you rate it? Oh, you said 4.
Yeah.
4. Yeah. All right. I appreciate those thoughts. Joe, what do you think about TCM 2? And I do remember one night getting a message from you. You were like, bruh, that was so fun. So I'm excited to hear what you think.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because it's hard to even rate this movie. Like I'm giving this I'll probably end up giving this a higher rating than I would in a vacuum, because this is compared to all of the other Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. And this gets bonus points for being different. It's the only one that's like not in the fucking house. It's in like, you know, and that scene at the radio station is insane.
Yes.
Music
is my life, man.
Yeah.
Like, all of that stuff is insane. Dennis Hopper just showed up later and just, you know, going to town on these guys. Like, it's wild. And yeah, it's an aggressively 80s movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I appreciate that. But again, like, it's so, like, I really like this movie compared to all of the other just rehashes of the same. How many times is it just a bunch of fucking kids pulling into a gas station and the same people that turns out that they're gonna betray them? It's always the same people, and it's always like the third one, like that we're gonna get into, fucking god awful, and they just get so much worse. What a shit franchise this is. But this is so insane and so weird, and it makes no sense, you know, but compared to everything else, I feel like I have to give it like a 4 out of it. Like, it's I can't give it the same as the first one. Like, it's definitely not as good as the second one, or the first one's not as good as the second one. But like, I like this one enough where I need a point spread between, like, how could I give this like a 3 and then the third one a 2? Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I like this one enough more than like 3, 4, and God, the list goes on, that I need that point buffer. Because then I have to also differentiate with those points how much I also hate some of these other movies more than others.
That's why the franchise review works so well, right?
Right.
Yeah, because like in another situation, this movie I would probably give like a 3 or something like that. I can't give this, because if I gave this a 3, what, I'm giving everything else a 1 or a point, and fighting between a 1 and a 0.5? Like, that's not fair, you know? So this is like, I'm giving it a 4 with like an asterisk.
All right.
Like, so.
Not a curve.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
It is absolutely on a curve.
All right. And Verno, you gave it a 4 as well, right?
Yeah.
And a 4.5 for me, which of course it was very enthusiastic. But Jelani, what about you? What do you think?
Bruh. Wow. Y'all are way too nice. Y'all are way too nice. I don't understand why the hell y'all thought that was a beautiful movie, but it's okay. I love y'all just the same. This movie is garbage. Hot, steaming pile of garbage. It gets worse. And there are just ones that just like make me go, why? But this one, yes, Verno, you are right. It has a giallo feel to it, the coloring, the things. It is aggressively 80s. It is one of those films where it's gonzo. It's just out there. Yeah, I love the chainsaw scene where they're the two idiots in the car that are, the two idiots in the car that are calling. calling the radio station, which is dumb. Why can't you hang up on people when they call? I don't understand. And then why you recorded it? What? And then you die, and then they don't find the bodies, and then Dennis Hopper shows up, and he's on cocaine the entire rest of the movie. And it's he's on coke the whole rest of. I'm pretty sure he's on coke in this movie for the majority of the movie.
He's still on that nitrous from Blue Velvet is what he's on, man. Yep. That's what he's doing, man.
He's like, he's a cop or former police officer who is like the brother and the sister of Sally and Franklin, who's trying to find them. He goes so insane that he was a cop in Texas and decides instead of, hey, maybe I should go get a whole bunch of guns and bust this place open, I go to a chainsaw store and buy 3 chainsaws. So I need to go kill these people. And then saws away and puts Stretch in danger to draw them out so he can go with chainsaws to go stop them. Now, yes, this is the most creative one. This is the one where it's in the slaughterhouse / whatever dungeon thing. But it's so annoying. I hate Shock Top with all my heart and soul. He's worse than Franklin.
Oh, fuck off, dude. Are you kidding me?
I disagree and agree at the same time. Like, you're right and you're wrong.
Chop Top's the fucking best, man, in the entire franchise.
Listen, Robbie, you keep defending Bill Moseley for so many things, like Repo. Oh, he takes his shirt off. And then this movie is like, oh, Shock Top, he's so good, he's scratching his head. Fuck Shock Top. Bill Moseley, if I meet you, dog, I'll be like, dog, you need some life choices. These are some better life
choices. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Can't stand it, man. Cannot stand that character. He is a piece of shit.
Bill, if you're watching, I love you. Please, I love you.
I mixed up like him and the hitchhiker guy from the first movie because I thought they were the same dude. And I was
They're allegedly supposed to be. He's the twin brother who was in Vietnam. Apparently.
Allegedly, yeah, he's great. Yeah, that's the reason it's trash. Everything about this movie makes me sick. Other than Stretch and the Leatherface not killing her, he's like Nethers with my chainsaw. That should be iconic, by the way. You are correct. Yeah, right. Because it's too memorable for that not to happen. That's the only good part of this movie. I hate this movie. This is a 2. 2.
Damn.
I know. I disagree with y'all. Seriously, this is a 2. 2 for 2. 2 for 2. I hate this.
Damn.
I can't stand it.
All right. Fuck. I feel slightly offended, man. But it's okay. We're not gonna have a repeat of fun. No, it's okay. I didn't make the movie.
Don't feel bad. I'm just telling you, y'all are way too nice on this film. I know. I get it. I understand. But this is a 2.
Can I just say real quickly, because I forgot to mention him, I think Chop Top is the best character of the entire franchise. He's amazing in this movie, and he's also incredibly annoying at times. At times, I'm like, okay, they could have cut this scene like 2 seconds before. Like, he's just a little too annoying at times, but he's fucking awesome at the same time.
He's hopping, and he's just like, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to stab you. Now, I do like I forgot about the shock jock. Or the dude that gets his face ripped off.
LJ?
And like LJ. I don't mind him. He's annoying as crap too, but I don't mind. He's reminds me
when
of
she's
Franklin,
wearing his face,
like,
the effects are amazing. Come on. Get the fuck out of here.
No.
You're ridiculous.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong about Tom Savini. I love Tom Savini. I mean, all the special effects in this was great. That was awesome. But
I guess that's where part of the 2 you digs came from.
That's where the 2s come from. It looks good. It looks good. It's in a great spot. I like how it ends, except for the whole pulling the chainsaw out of the mom kind of situation. I was weirded out. It's a little too gross in some parts. It's so dirty. These movies. I rate a lot of these movies on how dirty they are. Like, I know you're killers and stuff, but y'all just some of the nastiest people. Like, I could not be a cannibal around you people. How do you not have botulism and die from all of the people that you kill? And you get sick and have all your teeth fall out and all that shit. How do you not have that happen as dirty as you are and have grandpa sitting in the bed? It's such a mess. I hate this movie. Moving on.
All right. I got you. We got you. Jay, to answer you real quick, it's Chop Top, man. I mean, Otis is only I He's only good in the first
Otis
one. Brooks.
is shit too.
Oh, you're crazy.
Yeah.
It's Otis.
Brooks.
all
No,
day.
I'm
He's
kidding.
better than
I
the
love
second one.
Otis. I love
Brooks.
Otis. I'm kidding. I love Otis.
We're running long already, so let's like
Sorry.
don't worry. I don't think we have much to say about the rest of the franchise, probably.
No.
Brooks, what do you think about Texas
No,
Chainsaw Massacre
not at
Part
all.
2, man? I'm curious to hear what you think about this Tobe Hooper cult classic.
I don't like it. Sucks. It's kind of like it's like they're trying to recapture the magic of the first movie and failing, and they're trying to put a little more of a comedic spin on it. But like, I don't know, man. I didn't find most of it funny. It was just like more annoying than anything to me. Like, it does have parts that I think are pretty funny. Like the whole when he's killing the dudes in the beginning, those two idiots that are calling into the station. And, he's got the dead grandpa body, like, slung over his shoulders. I thought that was pretty funny.
That's his brother's. That's the hitchhiker's body.
Oh,
He's got the blood. He's got the blood mark on his face. So it's his dead brother's
grandpa.
No.
Yeah, no, it's his dead. It's his dead brother because the grandpa's in the movie.
Right.
Yeah, Grandpa's in
And
the
that's
movie.
Franklin in the wheelchair, which I didn't notice till
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
third time
And
watch.
Dennis
Yeah.
Hopper is the uncle
He's
of
like
Sally
Franklin.
and Franklin.
Yeah, uncle.
Yeah, this is when I started being like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this franchise very much. Like it all, this is the real beginning, the beginning of the downturn. But I'd probably give this one a 2.
Jesus.
Because
Can you imagine the ratings for the next few, Joe?
Oh my
Come
Well,
on.
this is why you're gonna see what I give the rest of them, and you're gonna get
You
like
get the
that's why
curve.
Joe
Yeah.
gave 2 a 4. Yeah.
Joe graded on a curve.
A
Brooks and
4?
Jelani are like, fuck that shit. All right, a 2 from
It
Brooks.
was trash, son.
So a 2 from Brooks and Jelani, a 4 from Joe and Verno, and a 4.5 from me for a PCP average of 3.69. Sounds good to me. So it's good enough. All right. Then we have 1990 Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
You're sweet. You're so
So New Line Cinema had purchased the rights of Jason. They had the house. They were the house that Freddy built, right? They purchased the rights to Jason. Then they purchased the rights to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And they thought they were going to reinvigorate this into a franchise through the 90s and eventually bring everything together in the first cinematic universe outside of Universal Monsters. They were a little bit ahead of their time. It didn't pan out, didn't work out. Why? Because this movie isn't necessarily good. I have never in my life liked this film. Now, I've met R.H. Miheloff a couple times. We had him at my comic shop, actually. He's a super cool dude. I got a picture of him signed. He's great, but I've never liked this film.
Who is that?
The guy who played Leatherface
Okay.
in part 3. This was the first time I legitimately enjoyed this film. Like, I liked it. I didn't think it was too bad, actually. I enjoyed some of the characters. Ken Foree was awesome in it. I was on board with the story, with the dude who's like obviously like having problems with his lady, or they're like exes or something like that, and they just got to take this car back to people. You got Viggo Mortensen in it. I think he was awesome. I enjoyed parts of this film, but this is the part where I'm like, okay, I get the Chop Top is the twin brother of the one dude who was at war when the last movie happened or whatever. But like now we're starting to add members of the Sawyer family, and I'm starting to lose the continuity like 100% in this film. But I liked it. Now the effects are by K&B, and they were extremely cut. They wanted New Line Cinema committed to making a very gory, brutal film, and then at the last minute decided, no, we're going to cut the fuck out of this film. So like all of the good stuff is cut out, and that sucks. That being said, I don't know. I still like some of the effects, what little bit we get. I like the story. I like the structure. And my favorite thing about this entire franchise is none of these movies are over an hour and a half. Not a damn one of them, right? And so we can applaud that at least. There's not like a 2.5 hour fucking ridiculous, no reason why Terrifier 2 needs to be 2.5 hours long. Anyway. I actually liked it this time. I liked the effects. I liked the Leatherface, the mask. I really liked the bit where he's doing like speak and say or whatever, and they're like, "What is this? It's a clown." He's like, "It's food." Like I don't know. I think this movie's actually. I think this movie's better on paper. I think this movie is better if we could ever get that uncut version of it. But as it is, and this is the first time I've ever truly enjoyed my experience watching this film, I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 you digs. That's an enthusiastic 3 for Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Borrowing Joe's curve, I see.
Yeah, my curve is in effect for sure. What do you think, Verno?
I hated it, man. I thought it was terrible. This was my first time watching it, and right off the bat, you've got me weirded out now because you pronounced his name Ken Foree. So now I lost all my confidence. I thought it was Ken Foree, but either way, I see the dude.
I'll ask him when I meet him at Scarefest next month.
Perfect.
So.
I see him, and I'm like, oh, dope. And then I see the Vigo guy, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, there's some big names in this. And then it's just like it couldn't get out of its way. I thought the pacing was terrible. Every time something kind of cool was happening, the dude shoots the guy at the gas station. I'm into it. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then it just loses me. And then something cool happens and I'm lost. Like 45 minutes into the movie, Ken Foree, he's by himself. This chick shows up and he's like, who are you? What the fuck is going on here? And I'm like, finally, someone said it. I'm like, well, who is she? What is going on? Like, I had no idea halfway through the movie. It's not like it's a plot heavy movie, but I thought the kills, and you said it, and I actually read a little bit about it. Like they got it was rated X when they sent it to the ratings board, so that's why they cut it like crazy. I would love to see the unrated version if it exists or whatever. But I thought the kills were terrible throughout. And then I only know this because I wrote it in my notes. I don't fucking remember the scene at all, but I have in my notes that they couldn't even show any blood on the final revenge kill. I have a vague recollection. There's some asshole that screws somebody over, and the final big kill, they didn't show anything. And I was like, this movie was terrible. I give it a 1. I think it might not even be the worst of the franchise, but it's getting a 1 for me. I thought it was really, really hard to get through. And I'm with what Brooks said about part 2. This is when I started to be like, oh shit, this is going to be a struggle. Like usually when we do these franchise reviews, I'm knocking them out. I'm going through them. This was like, I'm putting them off. I'm like, I'll do the dishes instead. Like I didn't want to do anything other than watch some of these movies. But some of them were worth it, I will say, down the line. But this one, for me, first time watch, it was not. I give it a 1.
All right, a 1 you dig from Verna. What about you, Joe? What do you think about Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3?
It's a miserable waste of your fucking time. It's basically a soft reboot of the first because it doesn't add anything meaningful. It's like beat for beat, like what if the first movie was shittier? Like that's all it is. And it's like you get Viggo Mortensen and Ken Foree, like, yeah, that's great, but like this is one of the only movies in the whole franchise that like the people who are getting like killed are like really getting like stabbed and they're fine. Like they have like Ken Foree and the girl who fucking even cares about her. She they're what a horrible actress in a terrible film.
I thought that was Barbara Hershey halfway through this fucking movie, then I realized it wasn't for some reason.
Right? But like she gets nails through her hands, and like minutes later she's grabbing stuff, she's like running around, she can hold stuff in her hands, and she can open doors to cars after she had nails through her hands. Like, God, fuck, I was going to give this a 2 to be nice, because again, I hate some of these more than I think I might hate a few of these more. But like, just thinking about this, 1.5. This is what a miserable slog of a worthless fucking film.
We got to compile some quotes from tonight and just have a special limited edition TCM fucking Horrorfest shirt, right? Because we got some good ones, man. It may not be the worst of the franchise, but it's a 1 from me. Like shit like that to add to it's a miserable waste of your fucking time. I love this. This is and you know what? We haven't even gotten to Jelani and Brooks yet. So I'm so excited for this. Jelani, what do you think about part 3, my man?
The saw is family. That chainsaw is sweet. Now, if they had actually gone with like the franchise and like done it, and now if Toby Hooper had thought of the Saw's family on the side of a chainsaw and given it to him in 2, I probably would have given it higher. Because that's an iconic chainsaw. Like I saw that like when I was a kid. I saw that in Fangoria magazine. It freaked me out, man. Because like it's just a cool ass chainsaw, right?
And if nobody knows, like before they even had a director, they cut together a trailer for this film with Kane Hodder as Leatherface, and it was him at the fucking lake, and this beautiful woman's hand reaches out of the water and gives him that chainsaw, and he grabs it and lightning hits it. And like everybody was like, this movie's going to be awesome.
No, it was not. Other than the chainsaw, this movie is trash. Fuck this movie. Why in the hell is everyone stupid as well in this? Not as stupid as the first movie, and not cute stupid like they are in the first movie, but stupid. Like Viggo Mortensen. Like, okay, so the girl and her ex-boyfriend are in the car, and they're supposed to bring the car. What a dumb trip, by the way. Just get a U-Haul or something and just strap it to the back or some stupid shit. I have no clue. They go out to this gas station and all this bullshit happens, and it's so fucking forgettable. It's how sad and forgettable this movie is why it sucks. It's boring. It's a waste of time. You're right. It's just so much work. But that chainsaw is so damn clean. So because of just the chainsaw, I will give this also a 2.
Nice.
That's it. I'll be short. Viggo's
Unlike
okay.
that chainsaw.
No, I'm kidding. Viggo's just. Man.
I told you to call me Tex.
Yeah, that's some stupid ass shit. It's so forgettable. It's like. It's just so yeah, you're right, Fable. Yeah, they're fucking stupid. Everybody here is stupid. I hate them. And like the second the car accident happened, when Ken Foray like hits them, and they're like, oh my, or the guy hits the car, and then he's like, here's a sedative. Here, take this medication. It's gonna make you drowsy. I'm like, you think he's in on it? I'm like, oh shit. And then like we're gonna get dark meat. We're gonna get dark meat tonight. God, I hate that fucking movie. Other than the chainsaw, this movie gets 2.
I really need somebody out there in the chat to compile some of these quotes together for us, and we can put up a promo to be like, check out the replay, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Here are the quotes. Peace out, Jay. All right, Brooks, I'm really, really excited to see what you think about part 3, having heard your thoughts about part 1 and 2. So what do you think?
I actually kind of like this one. No, I'm kidding. It's bad. I can't say it's I'd say it's about on par with the second one. This is kind of where the formula becomes clear as to how these movies work and how they're going to do them, for a while. And like it just made me sad, like, because there's nothing here. It's like they're mining an empty mine that has nothing in it. This is what we get. It's just the same movie again, but like more annoying and bad. But it does have the Saw's family, which is my favorite line from any of these movies.
Is it soup yet? Also comes from this.
Yeah. Oh, you motherfucker! Tell me what I should do. It's got its moments. It is goofy. It's like it's kind of like they're kind of leaning more into the goofiness of it in this one. But I mean, it doesn't work very well. So I'd give this one a 2 as well.
Somehow Brooks and Jelani gave this movie a higher rating than Verno and fucking Joe. I don't understand. All right.
It's bad, but they're worse. There's worse.
A 2 from Brooks and Jelani.
A
3.
One.
Yeah, a 3 from me, and a 1 from Verno, and a 1.5 from Joe. That's like a 1.869. I think for this one. I think we're safe on that one. It just made me sad. Fable, compile this. Like, just write them down. Like, type them out, please, for us. We'll put a promo together. This will be hilarious. 1995, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. This movie was made and then never released. But then Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey became big stars. So then they released this movie against the, like, Matthew McConaughey had signed to some agency, and they were the ones who were like, you cannot release this film. Our client, like this, he cannot be attached to this film, whatever. This, to me, is honestly the worst movie of the franchise, but it's not my least favorite. And it's not my least favorite because of Matthew McConaughey and because of the first 20 minutes of this film. I really enjoyed the first 20 minutes of this film. The kids at prom night, those characters, I'm invested in those characters. For the first time, I'm like, okay, these are characters that at least on a comedic level I can get behind. The asshole dude was cracking me up the entire time, right? His girlfriend that he's cheating on, she's cracking me up the entire time. Renee Zellweger's backstory, her pseudo boyfriend, they're just smoking weed in the back of the car. I'm invested. They go through that shit so fucking quick and then get into a part where they don't know what the hell they're doing with this movie. Now, Kim, is it Hinkle, right? The original co-writer came back to write and direct this film. There's no Leatherface. Not really. It's not Leatherface's story. There's no cannibalism. But Matthew McConaughey as, what is it, Velmer, something like that? He slays it. Also, the only TCM movie with any bit of nudity. Just going to throw that out there as well. This movie fucking blows. The whole Illuminati thing. Oh, the Sawyer family, they're actually these agents for this shadow organization within the government to seed out horror in the community. And maybe they assassinated JFK, and there's all this, like, I don't know what any of that shit is. It's jumping the shark like a motherfucker, but I can watch Matthew McConaughey in this film all day long. That being said, this movie sucks. I give it a 2. This is a 2 you digs for me. And those 2 you digs are for, 1 you dig for Matthew, the second you dig for McConaughey. Okay, so that's where I'm at with this. Verna, what do you think, man? And I know you love Matt in this film, bruh.
I enjoyed this one, and I know it's bad, but I think, first of all, I watched it in a weird order. And after the ones that I watched, this one was a breeze. I watched a shitty one that comes later, and then the one that came before that we just talked about, and I was like, oh, this is much, much better. So, like, that's part of my enjoyment of it. You nailed it, though. The first 20 minutes, I'm into the movie. Like, this is the year before Scream came out, and you could tell, like, it's kind of got a little bit of snappy dialogue. The teens are kind of relatable. They're not overly annoying or anything. But Matthew McConaughey murders it throughout the whole thing, spitting pizza in people's faces and shit. He's just so over the top. And I like the...
I love that one of those pizzas is a vegetarian pizza, bro.
Right.
Like, first of all, why are they ordering
There's
pizza
no
and not
cannibals.
eating people? Like, what is going on here?
The sister, too. Oh, sorry. I thought you were... The sister, she's just so fucking weird. The one in the purple dress, McConaughey's sister. They're all too good looking. Like,
Sally?
clearly Matthew McConaughey's way too good looking. His sister's too good looking. Like, the family doesn't look right. But it's not... I don't know. It's not as bad of a lot of them. The other thing I oddly enjoyed about it is the prom dresses in the woods. I just liked the look, the contrast of those two things. These teens walking through the woods in these prom dresses, all busted up looking. The bit where Leatherface is sneaking up behind the chick that's sitting on the porch, it's a little wacky, but I thought it was pretty cool when he's chasing her down and throwing her in the freezer and trying to stack something on top of it. I thought there was a lot of cool moments in the movie. It peaks early. They've got this big, long Leatherface chase at like 45 minutes into the movie. And they're like, oh, shit, what do we do now? Well, we got to do a dinner scene. Let's do that for the next 45 minutes. And then you got McConaughey spitting at people for a long time. Yes. But other than that, like, I thought it was comparatively a lot more enjoyable than a lot of the shit. So I'm going to give it a 3.
All right, a 3. Nice. I love seeing all of our, or hearing all of our experiences with these films. Joe, what did you think about The Next Generation? Were you disappointed Patrick Stewart wasn't there?
Well, first off, how did we get 2 people talking about this, then getting to me, and no one talks about fucking the drag queen Leatherface in this fucking movie? It's fucking insane.
That's an
Pretty
element
lady.
from those are from the first
It's the
movie.
first
Like, those are
movie.
elements in the first movie,
That-
right?
Pretty lady.
No, not at, that was. This is done differently. This is absolutely like
I
in
kind of
the
lean
other
into it
one.
more in this one.
In the other ones, it's like Buffalo Bill. It's like, you know, it's like Norman Bates. This one, he's fucking divine. Like, it's it's fuck. Like, what is happening?
John Waters should have directed this shit then,
I
man.
think that Leatherface died in real life. I think that guy that played Leatherface.
Yeah, he
died.
did. And Kim said that he said that like more of the intention was supposed to be that like he's kind of like androgynous when he puts on the identities, and he wanted to like kind of bring that element out. Unfortunately, Leatherface is just not a character to me in this movie. He's barely there, or they're barely there.
Yeah, and it's very like and it's just done so poorly in this film. Like there is like again, it's like you do this again, like Buffalo Bill, like you know, Norman Bates. You don't do this like a weird drag queen kind of thing. Like it was weird because none of the other movies also follow up on that and go that direction in the same way.
Right.
There is there's like creepy moments in other movies where he's like puts on the leather mask, he's like putting on makeup and stuff, and it's like that's different than what they do in this movie. And I mean, I think part of why it comes off more like, you know, a drag queen is because the budget's so low, because this is like by far the lowest budget outside of like the first movie. So it's a cheaper mask, and the way they do the makeup and stuff just makes it look really gaudy, and it makes it look silly. It's not terrifying. Like it's supposed to be scary in other films, and it's not, or at least like, you know, black humor, but you're not getting that either. It's just straight up goofy shit. So yeah, and nothing is memorable outside of Matthew McConaughey yelling a few times. Like this is a one. Like, I mean, what else? What else can you fucking give this? Like, seriously.
Well, apparently a 2 or a 3.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't see the path. You know, it's like
Rewind on the replay. I gave you a path right to 3. Right
This is absolutely the best franchise review we've ever done. Like, because like Phantasm, we start on a high and we just keep getting lower and lower. And I think this one's going to be more like the franchise, kind of a roller coaster ride. Jelani, what do you think about Next Generation, man? Your first time watching?
What the fuck, man? What? I seriously questioned when you said you wanted to do a franchise review, because I had heard about this movie like years ago, and I think I don't know if it was in high school or not, and everybody was talking about, oh yeah, man, this is supposed to be awesome because Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger are in it, because you know, and everybody was like big on them during this period of time, and then this movie drops in like a VHS or something like that, and like people, I never watched it because it sounded like it was a B movie, and unfortunately it is. It's just one of those movies where it's probably a C movie. It's we got some film together, and we had a weekend. We're gonna throw this shit together with some kids. Renee Zellweger's annoying. I don't know what it is about her. I can't stand her now because of this movie. Something about it, like
because of this movie. Because of this movie? That's
this movie. And I've seen, listen, and I like romantic comedies. I've watched Bridget Jones' Diary, and she's annoying.
I remember you telling me back then, you were like, I don't like her in her squishy face.
Like, she got a mush mouth face, man. She got issues in her face that I just can't stand. Like, you can't work with it. And like the girl was like, she got a rocking body. I'm like, no, man, that's Renee Zellweger. Anyway, but Matthew McConaughey's in it. Yes, he's got the leg thing.
Dude, when that dude from the fucking Illuminati's like fucking with him,
yeah, and I'm like, why is there an Illuminati? Why is this going on? And then nobody's mentioned this so far. And I mentioned this to you, Robbie, when we did our review. The plane is so out of left field. Like, there's a guy crop dusting and he sees that that Matthew McConaughey is chasing Renee Zellweger, and he just flies down and just murders Matthew McConaughey and flies away. I'm still, and the whole movie's just a clusterfuck. But then that happens, and I'm like, huh? He's just dead by a plane guy? And they don't explain it. He doesn't land us, then tip his hat and say, "Hey, I'm the guy that killed you." Nothing.
Well, so
It's just a crop duster
you
guy.
feel like they're trying to get the idea of like the first one where like it's daylight now, like it goes from day to night to day again, and then they go through and like the truck shows up. What's really crazy is that when she gets away, Leatherface is doing his like chainsaw dance, at dawn, and
At
then
dawn.
it has like a brief cut, and it's the sun is setting.
Yeah.
And it's like, is the idea that this dude's like out there for like fucking all day long, just like
They did not
just
spend
going
money
crazy
on reshoots. Yeah, they did not spend money on reshoots. It was just one of these movies where it's just like it merged together, and like Sally, the little girl, I didn't understand her. Like, yeah, I get to kill him now. I'm gonna kill him with the hammer thing. Oh god, she was annoying as shit.
She's
the guy
from
I forgot.
something, too.
She was in 3. Was she in 2?
No,
Sally,
but I mean,
the
she's
little
in.
girl,
So
not
she's
little Sally. But I'm talking about the little girl. They're the little girl. Is she in 3 or is she in this
the
one?
little
'Cause
girl's in
they're
part
all-
3, right?
The little girl's in 3. What
Or is it
happened
this
to her?
one? I don't know.
I
Is it
can't
this
remember.
one?
I can't remember.
I didn't
But
know there was a little girl. I don't know.
There's a little girl, little blonde-haired pigtail girl that's in here, and she kills the guy with the hammer. She kills him in 3.
In 3,
She kills-
yeah.
that's 3. I forgot because I merged 3 and 4 together because they're just such crap. It's just malleable crap. I forgot about what happened to Sally. The girl from the girlfriend, Matthew McConaughey's girlfriend, or was his sister? I don't know. She's the teacher that's in Varsity Blues. That's the sex ed teacher. They find out she's a stripper in Varsity Blues. That's the only thing I could remember from that, because I was like, she looks familiar, and I had to think about it for a long time. I was like, wait, I can't remember her name now, and I was just like, okay, whatever. That's the only thing I can remember about this movie. This movie also gets a 1 for me. It's just so sure Matthew McConaughey's there, but he gets killed by an anonymous plane dude. They at least could have set up the crop dusting at the beginning or something to make me understand why a plane would kill Matthew McConaughey and not make it look gory. And then of course the Illuminati shit with that guy with the rings on, that was creepy as fuck. It's just so weird. It's so tragic that
and it's got the jackass who's just like quoting shit all the fucking time, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Is that the one? Yeah. I hated him. Oh, I forgot the guy from 3 because he's merged in here too. I hate that guy too. I think I hate him on level with Shock Top. The one that the weird guy with the mental issues and just talk. I can't remember his name now. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we know you. Is it soup yet?
Because they're all Hicks. They're all Hicks. The one Ken Forey punches in the swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fucking hate that guy. I forgot to mention that shit. I hate that guy, like, with passion. Him and Shock Top can eat a dick. Him and Bill Mosley and him should fall out in the trees. I hate them.
They would probably actually gladly eat a dick, bro. They are the Sawyer family.
And I kept forgetting that the little girl and the dude were in 3. But it's merged together so much. Like, these 2 movies just suck ass so much together. It's like a baby of crap. So yeah, this one gets a 1.
All right, a 1 from Tulane. Brooks, what do you think about TCM IV, otherwise known as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation?
Not very good. It's the same movie. And this is the point in watching this franchise where I had to, like, after I watched this movie, I had to take a couple of nights off from watching these fucking movies because I was so sick of seeing the same fucking thing over and over again. I think probably watching this like on its own outside of the franchise, not having watched the other ones, I probably would have liked it a little bit better. But it's still dumb. But McConaughey, he does have a pretty good performance in there. And it's not. I wouldn't say I felt the worst watching this one, but you know, having suffered through the other two before it, kind of hurt me a little bit. So I'll give it a 2 as well.
Oh, okay. A 2 from me and Brooks, a 3 from Verno, and a 1 from Joe and Jelani, for a PCP average of 2.00000369. Sounds good to me. A higher rating than 3. I'll just throw that out there. All right, we're gonna take a quick break because this officially ends the Sawyer family saga, and then we get into the reboot. Well, then they do like so. Originally, it was the Slaughter family, right? In the first movie, the sign on the barbecue says "We Slaughter." It's supposed to be W.E. Slaughter, right? But they changed Slaughter to Sawyer. They then change in the reboot Sawyer to something that starts with an H. I don't even remember what the hell it was.
Howlett.
Oh, yeah.
And then like it gets weird from that point forward, but it doesn't matter.
It's already weird.
We're taking a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be hitting the last 5 of these movies in PCP fashion. We'll be right back here on Horrorfest PCP Movie Night. You know, I keep forgetting that I was supposed to be showing off my Blu-rays. There's part 1. Once again, I have the European Arrow edition of part 2 because at the time it was cheaper than the Scream Factory. There's my Leatherface part 3, which I was the one who apparently liked this the most out of all of us. There's my copy of Next Generation with the slip, everybody.
Ooh.
With the slip.
Fancy.
Should I take this opportunity to show off my Horrorfest 2023 shirt that I'm
Yeah, you should. They're available now for a limited time edition only. Somebody drop the link, please. Look at that. Did you get the 2-sided one, right?
I did.
Spin around.
All right, I can do that. I don't know if I can bend.
Look at that. The whole lineup on the back there of all the movies and all the channel logos. Hell yeah.
Good job, Berno.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now we're going to 2003. The reboot. The Michael Bay Platinum, was it Platinum Dunes? Is that the name of the company or whatever?
Yep.
Yeah, Michael Bay was like, fuck, Transformers not making me enough. They hadn't done Transformers yet, actually. Anyway, he did Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the reboot, which kind of started the whole reboot trend. Right after this, we got Dawn of the Dead. We got Friday the 13th, same company. I believe Michael Bay produced that, right? Then we got the Nightmare on Elm Street one, which fucking sucks. We talked about that last year. So this one, I saw this when it first came out, and I fucking hated it. But I was snobby Robbie back then. So I wanted to give this a good, fair shot. And I watched it with some friends, some dear friends of mine. I watched it very late at night. And I watched it slightly intoxicated. So that should be prime for me to enjoy this movie, right? Hanging out with some of my favorite people, watching this movie while slightly intoxicated. I still fucking hated this movie. Every problem I had with this movie in 2003 still stands today. It's not TCM, it's Friday the 13th, right? Like, it's going so far into it. It is colorless. Now, I get that the original has this kind of like dirty, almost sepia-like type tone, but they go way too fucking far with the color grading in this movie. I fucking hate it. I don't like it. Yeah, I get it. Every time I tell people this, every time I tell people I do not like this movie, they go, Jessica Biel's hot. Yeah, and she's not the only hot person in this fucking movie. I don't care. Hot people do not make a hot movie. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's got to be good. It's got to have something. I think the whole fucking shit about, well, we were in Mexico to hang out. No, we were secretly buying weed. All that shit is bullshit to me. I don't give a fuck. I don't like it. I don't like this movie at all, and I still don't like it. I think it's unnecessary, ridiculous, and over fucking indulging. So that's what I think, and I'm going to give it a 2.5.
Boom.
2.5. So it's not the worst. But here's the thing. The reason why it gets a 0.5 over the 2 is that awesome fucking shot where the woman like kills herself, and then it like goes through her fucking head wound out the fucking window. Like, that's dope as fuck. But that's basically the only dope part of this movie. I don't fucking like, oh, he's got a skin-eating disease. We see Leatherface's face. Fuck y'all. Michael Bay, you don't understand these movies. But you got somebody better to do the Friday the 13th one. 2.5 for me. I still don't like it. I'll move on. Verna, what do you think?
I surprisingly agree with a lot of what you said now. It's kind of the opposite of what I said about the original. I like that more every time I watch it. I like this movie less every time I watched it. When it came out, I thought it was fucking awesome. Like, it was at the time. Like, for the moment, it was cool. This is what the world needed. It changed horror. It really was an impactful movie. It peaks at that suicide scene. And I think, for me, that's one of the coolest shots in horror history. It's so creative and well executed. It's just awesome. Really cool shot. But it also, like, it tells you the difference between this one and the original about how they're going to create the atmosphere. When you compare the hitchhiker in the first one, getting in the van and just being weird. He's not threatening anybody's lives. He's just odd, and he makes you feel uncomfortable. In this one, they just go straight for a girl pulling a gun out of her vagina and blowing her face off. And it's just like, it shows you the approach at how to create that atmosphere in the movie, and it makes it gross. Like, I know the first one is gross, but it doesn't gross me out. I don't. It's really hard to articulate the difference in the two, but it's just like,
they're all so dirty. But I understand.
Yeah, it's like ickier in a more like nasty way, and that is all about atmosphere and tone in the original. But Gunny, or whatever the dude's name is, I think he's awesome in the movie. But he's also like, he's the other big difference from the original. The hitchhiker and his character, the cook and the cop.
Yeah.
And he like dominates the movie. He's the most memorable. That scene and his performance are the most memorable things about the movie. And it peaks after the other great scene is with Gunny when they put that gun in my face or whatever. When it's like, oh, you just killed a cop. That is great. After that, everyone's dead besides Jessica Biel. And it's just her running from Leatherface for like 45 minutes. And it's just a big mess of like nothing. I don't remember anything from this movie other than those two things, usually when I watch it. And she looks good, but she's not great in the movie. She's not terrible either. Nobody's terrible in the movie. But I don't know. I used to love the movie, but I've watched it like 3 times in the past year because of other shows that I did, and I don't think I'll ever watch the movie again. I'll give it 3. It's a solid movie because it's shot really well and it's acted, and I think they made a lot of good choices. And again, it was the right Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie in 2003 for the moment. But I don't think I need to see it again. I'll give it a.
It just led to this whole like revival of these things where we have to over explain the backstory. We have to elaborate all this stuff. And I don't know. I didn't like the family in this one as much as I liked them in 1 and 2, or even in 3 and 4, in my opinion. But all right, what did you rate it again?
3.
3. All right, that's solid. I think that's solid and fair. What about you, Joe? What do you think about the remake?
Unnecessary sucks too.
The mute.
Okay. Unnecessary sucks too. That's got to be on the quote fucking shirt, y'all. Unnecessary sucks too.
You've got to find a way to get the mute in there. If you guys out there watching didn't appreciate the fact that he muted himself afterwards, it was the best part of that line.
That was the mic drop right there, right? That's what it was. All right, Jelani, what do you think about the reboot?
Jessica Biel's hot. That's about it. I mean, Eddie Balfour, whatever, he was trying to be a thing for so long, and he's just not a thing. And the guy with the mustache, he's been in stuff. He was in that Alien movie. I can't remember. I don't know. It was terrible. It's terrible. It's just not good. I don't know how to explain it. I like that Leatherface got his arm sawed off, so we can't have any more sequels. Guy holding the chainsaw, but whatever. It's a movie. It happened. Jessica Biel was hot. Did I mention that? This is a 2.
I love that Leatherface just sits there and lets him chop her arm off.
He
never moves out of the way. He takes 5 swings at me.
I'm okay. And I'm hot. Oh, I don't know, man. It was so much work. It's so much work. 2.
Oh, the other stupid ass thing that I didn't mention. Her friend is there. He's like, "You got to kill me. I'm hanging on this meat hook.
Yeah.
Just put me out of my misery." She's like, "Okay, let me stab you in the stomach, and then I'm just gonna
take the knife.
kneel under the blood and let the blood drip on me." Like,
you only have fall on her. Why? And they're on a piano, and she's got like a chair right behind her.
I'm gonna tell y'all something.
The chair.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. There are way too many people out there that think this movie's fucking great. So I love everybody on this panel right now. I just want you to know that there are people I've seen on this goddamn platform of YouTube that said this is better than the original.
No.
Cody Leach, I'm looking at you. Fuck, like that's fucked up.
Cody Leach said this was better than the first.
Yes, he did, bruh.
I probably said that in the past. I bet, man. I wouldn't. I mean, I think I probably did, and I meant it at the time. It has its moments, dude. I think I like it more than everybody that's went so far. Like
it has moments, and I get what you're saying. At the time, we had gone through a decade in the '90s with a lot of like safety type stuff,
right?
You know, like I Know What You Did Last Summer and shit like that, Urban Legend and Valentine and shit like that. And then this movie comes out, and I can understand that. But even back then, I fucking hated this movie. Brooks, what do you think?
It's
my favorite thing.
Slasher.
My favorite thing is how cracked up Joe gets every time Brooks gives his initial thoughts. Somebody do a super cut of all that together. That would be like a short right there. Perry, you still here? You still here? There's one of those fuckers. There's one of those fuckers right there. Dylan, this movie sucks, man. I'm sorry.
Dylan, this movie is garbage, man. Sorry. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Brooks. Continue.
Yeah, I mean,
no, next generation is one.
From a early 2000s remake of this franchise, pretty much. Nothing particularly interesting about it. Like, it didn't have a dinner scene, which I thought was nice because I hate that scene. But overall, like, very forgettable. I'd give it a 2 as well. It has some, like, it is very polished. Like, it does have some nice kills, but overall, you know, still it's in the 2 zone.
Damn. So a 2 from Joe, Jelani, and Brooks, and Joe and Brooks didn't want to talk about this very much at all. And a 2.5 from me, and a 3 from Verno. So that's a PCP average of a like a 2 point, let's say 3,169. Sounds good.
Sure.
All right. Higher than 4 and 3. All right.
This
Then we
makes
get
me question my giving a 3 for the last one. This is why it's tricky.
It's crazy to me though when people say it's better than the first one. And I'm
Oh
just
yeah,
like,
no, there.
and Dylan never said that. Like, Dylan can love this movie. I love you, Dylan. You can love this movie. That's fine. You're wrong, but you can love this movie because that's just how it works. Oh my God, we need the fucking TCM PCP quote shirt. Like, that's got to be like, it's got to have like 20 different. Like, we're gold tonight, y'all. Y'all are killing it. All right, 2006. Now, from this point forward, aside from the newest one, the next 3 films I have never seen before. So I watched and actually bought Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning, which is a prequel to the reboot of the film, right?
The Hoyts.
And I hate the reboot, but I actually kind of like this film to a point. Like, it's not bad. It's okay. It's got the chick from Fast and Furious. She's hot in this film, right? So they're going with the momentum they have. Like, let's put some hot chicks in here. Let's like just do the same movie again. Let's over-explain every little bit from the fucking reboot. Why does dude not have any legs? Let's talk about that. Why is dude masquerading as a sheriff? Let's talk about that. But it actually gives you some decent payoff for some of those things, even though it's a prequel. I didn't mind it. I really applaud this as it is the only TCM movie with no survivors.
Yeah.
There's no survivors in this
Nobody
film.
thinks
I
so.
like that. I had fun with it. I actually enjoyed the family aspect in this one better than I did in the reboot. So I actually thought it was just okay. So I'll give this one a 3 out of 5. I did not hate that movie, and that rather surprised me. So I did not hate watching it. What do you think about it, Verno?
This was a first watch for me as well, and I liked it also, man. I think I like it better than the remake, which I used to love. Leatherface is pretty badass in this one. He's like really intimidating and like cool. He's rarely cool. You know what I mean? Like, he's kind of cool in the first one a little bit. He's not at all cool in the second and third and fourth one. He's like feeble and he gets picked on, but he's pretty badass in this one. He's really badass. I like Gunny in this one. I like what they do with him. I love when they chop the dude's legs off. They chop the one off because it's messed up, and they nick the other one. Like, oh, he says, even them up. And he fucking cuts the other one off. That's great. I do like it turns for me in a major way when she makes her heel turn. We're cousins now, and they done you wrong, and they done me wrong, so I'm gonna be a mass murderer too.
That's a different movie.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, you're thinking about the next movie we're going to be talking about.
Oh, okay. All right, well, I'll get to
Is
that one.
the next one?
All the other stuff was this one, though, right? When he
That's
cuts
3D.
the face off?
Yeah, that's 3D.
Okay. This one, I'll just stop there then, because I guess I'm forgetting shit. But this is where he cuts the dude's legs off, though, right?
Yeah.
I got that right? Okay, all right. So the rest of the movie, I'm correct.
These two movies are linked. These are the ones in this weird continuity. See, that's what it's saying. The continuity for these movies is so fucked up.
Right.
Like, these two are just these two movies. Like, I think he's Howlett in this. I think they're the Howlett family or something like that.
Yeah, this is the Michael Bay twofer, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, since I barely know what I'm talking about, then I'll just say a 3. I enjoyed it at least as much as the remake. Surprisingly, I thought it had more memorable moments for sure.
Yeah, I did enjoy watching this film. Like I think, Joe, you messaged me. You're like, bro, what the fuck was this? And I'm like, I thought it was okay. So what do you think?
I think that this sucked. It's even worse than the remake. It's what a pathetic shit fest. I mean, but really, like Robbie, like you mentioned, like how there were no survivors in this film, and it's like, no fucking shit, there's no survivors in the prequel, and Sally was the only survivor in the duh. There's no.
They all have to die.
So right
it's like Rogue One.
Yeah. But I'm watching this. I'm like, oh, wow. So I'm watching a movie where I know exactly who dies and doesn't die in a horror movie. that's fucking interesting. So you know all these things that happen like already. The only saving grace is, you know, God, what's his name? Like Arlie Ermy.
Arlie Ermy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He chews up the scenery. He's fun when he's on screen. Everything else blows. I mean, they all like this does that thing that like it like tries to make you think it's clever by like bringing up like Vietnam and like the draft and stuff, but it doesn't do shit with that. It's like it's just there, like
You burned your draft card.
You could have done something really interesting and told some sort of story about like the savagery of war versus like you know what's going on there, or like you could have done something. And this movie doesn't do anything with this stuff, and it's a waste of everyone's time, talent, runtime, your fucking life. Like there's no, you don't need any of this, because you don't watch this movie and go, I really understand, you know, this family better, and I have a deeper appreciation of the franchise. If a prequel like this doesn't do that for you, you wasted your fucking time. Like, sorry, like it's not worth it. 1.5.
Love it. Jelani, what did you think about the beginning?
I mean, it is slightly to me. It's better than that last piece of shit. I'm sorry, it is. It's just a waste of time and effort as well, Joe. I agree. Jordana Brewster is cute, but she only got butt crack. She ain't boobies.
She's showing that butt crack the entire fucking time. By the way,
she is doing butt crack the entire movie.
Like, does she think she's a plumber in this film? What's going on?
I don't know. She does got plumber's butt, but
I thought she was in the Mario movie.
It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work to watch that movie. Yeah, Gunny's great. Sheriff Hoyt has got to be like, he's cool. I really like him. I liked him in the previous movie. He is the best thing about the previous movie. Leatherface he's all right. He's fine. I like how there's no survivors, but of course you're right, Joe. Of course they aren't. Of course there aren't survivors. You duh. The second you see these people, you're like, oh, they're all gonna die. They're all gonna get dead, or one of them's gonna turn into one of them, and that's it. You know, I was assuming that Jordana Brewster would turn into one of them, and she'd just be like, I'll make more kids for y'all. Worker. I really thought that was gonna be the end of this movie. I don't know why, but then she got sawed, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I like the end. I love the end. The ending is awesome. And by the way, the kills, yeah, I like the kills in this movie. The kills at the end just make up for all the bullshit for this movie for me. So I'll give it a 2.5.
2.5. All right.
It's terrible, but that ending makes up for it. Like, you kill the cop, and by the way, fuck the police. Fuck the police. But he also kills that bystander guy he pulled over, but fuck the police. And he saws her in the back, and that shit was just fucking baller. I was like, hell. And he beat her to the car, got in the car. She can't see or smell him in the back seat of this car, and keeps driving and doesn't know that he's back there. This shit's baller.
I do feel like Leatherface has a smell. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think
I'm
you're
pretty sure, like, you know,
that smells like that dude.
like I'm sure, like, you get
We've all met that person. They have a smell. You know,
like an oh dear. I'm sure Leatherface has an oh dear.
All right, so a 2.5 from you.
2.5.
All right, Brooks, what do you think?
I didn't like it. Boring. I've forgotten most of what happens in this movie.
True.
It's dumb and it's boring. I give it a 2 as well.
So I gave this one a 3. Verno, I can't remember what everybody did right now. So when I say your name, just tell me your rating. I gave it a 3. Verno?
3.
Joe?
1.5.
Jelani?
2.5.
Brooks?
2.
It's PCP average of 2.769, I would say. Sure.
That'll work.
Yeah.
I just feel bad right now, but at the same time, I'm also like really like elated that I gave all of y'all some bad nights these last couple weeks. Because I had them
I
too.
cursed your name
I had to watch
many
2
a
of
night
these in a
before I
row.
laid my head down on my pillow.
Now, another movie I never watched, Texas Chainsaw 3D. Now, I was going to watch this in 3D over at Holshoe's house, but timing, schedule just didn't work out. So I watched it in 2D for the first time. First of all, this is a direct sequel to the original, discounting all of the sequels, discounting the reboot and its whole mythology. It's a new timeline, a direct sequel to the first movie. I like this movie. I like this movie. I do. I don't know why. Well, I know why. I know why I like this movie. All right. I like this movie because there are like a lot of hot people in this fucking movie. Like the 2 chicks and the 2 dudes, like I would get it. You know what I'm saying? Like I would like there is hot
Songz.
people in this fucking movie, and I don't know how they keep certain articles of clothing covering certain bits throughout this fucking movie. But like, I don't know. I was rather fascinated with it. Now, the original actress who played Sally plays basically Leatherface's caretaker in this one. She dies. I like this movie. So it's a direct sequel. So it starts with the original movie and it like starts following that up like directly. Right. I appreciated that. Where did all of these fucking Sawyer motherfuckers come from? I don't know.
Family of them.
Because in that first movie, there's like 4 of these dudes, right? At best. And now there's like 20 of them. I don't know. But they have that
And
whole
are they
like
cannibals?
they have the
Are they
whole
just
young
protecting
bloods,
Leatherface?
or not young blood, but they have the whole like young guns kind of set up where they like have the shootout and people die, and Gunnar Hansen's in it. Bill Moseley plays the chef, right? He plays that character. So it was cool to see him back, but like, yeah, I like this movie. I don't know. I like the kills. I like the setup. I like the vibe of it. People complain about this movie. They say it's shit. 2 things they hate about it. Number 1, they hate the line when the chick, the main character, spoilers, the main character finds out that she is actually part of the Sawyer family. And she kind of aligns herself with Leatherface at the end against the cops
mayor.
and the mayor. Yeah, the mayor. And is this the one with the fucking Scott Eastwood? Yeah, absolutely. Right. That's my daddy. So the cops are bad guys. They almost like, but I don't think it's trying to make you feel for Leatherface and his family, but I do think it's trying to make you understand the inheritance of madness, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like this film. I do. I want to see it in 3D. I like Leatherface in a carnival with like a 12-year-old throwing a fake chainsaw at him. Like, I don't know. The chicks and the dudes are fucking hot as fuck in this movie. The main cast, not like the rest of them, right? The Sawyer family, Leatherface is never sexy. But I like this movie, but people hate the idea of the line where she's like, throws the chainsaw. She's like, go get him, cuz.
Yeah.
Bro, that's fine to me. Like, we watch so many of these horror films. Are we going to pick apart a line like that? You know what I'm saying? But at the other end, people hate the fact that if you look at the timeline, she's supposed to be in her 40s, bro.
Yeah.
And I will say
they don't give you a date of how old she is or the year that it happens.
They have cell phones. This movie is definitely in the 2000s, and
they hide it.
Initially, this movie was supposed to be set in the 90s, but they didn't want to extend the budget to have to make it a period piece, if that makes sense. But like, yeah, the main character is supposed to be in her 40s, bro. I'm just saying, I know a lot of hot women in their 40s.
It's ridiculous.
They don't all look like that. Some of them do. Anyway, I like this film. I'm going to give it a 3.69. Is what I'm going to do. Verna, what do you think? I ranted. That's probably the longest rant I did about a movie tonight. Well, I really like this movie, y'all. I was really surprised as fuck, dude.
I pretty much already told you what I thought about it when I was mixing it up with the last one. I was into the movie for the most part. The very, very beginning, I'm like, oh, this is pretty fucking cool. Like, I liked the way initially where they're showing scenes from the original and then they kind of just blended it in and it just all of a sudden it was the movie. But it immediately like started to, they didn't have that tone instantly when they showed you the house. It was already kind of screwed up. But the story was engaging enough. Like I was into it. There were some cool moments throughout the whole thing. The bit at the carnival was awesome, where they're on the Ferris wheel and Leatherface is just waiting for him with a chainsaw to come down. Like that was a cool creative bit. And I would like to see it in 3D, especially that part where he turns around and whips the chainsaw. But you said it, dude. Like it's interesting for me to know that is what most the public has an issue with, is when she throws the chainsaw and says, "Do your thing, cuz." Like I was into the movie, and it's not like I was sitting there trying to pick it apart and be like, "Wow." It's just like, I don't know. It just made me be like, "Yeah, fuck it." Like instantly, I dropped a you digger too. Just there, it was like it lost me.
Everybody's talking about what's her name, like the main character, but her
Alexander
friend,
Daddario,
her friend who's like cheating on her with her dude, right? That's the chick from Lost, right? Like the French girl,
yeah,
right?
That's Taya.
Dude,
that's Taya Rebond.
She is like unbelievably hot
hot
in this fucking movie.
She's so
I'm sorry.
I have it
like,
in my notes. I have cast a bit too sexy. Like everyone's distractingly sexy. You know,
Alexander Daddario can get it all day.
There's
all
certain movies
day.
that you don't, or certain franchises.
What's the name of the rapper that's in this film? Because I'm not
Trey Songz.
Yeah, he can get it fucking too, man. And the
Trey
other
Songz.
dude with the shitty ass fucking facial hair. I'm sorry, but if I met him at a bar, bro, I'm in danger. I'm in danger. I don't know what it is, man. There's something. There's something greasy about him that I like. I don't know. I'm sorry. Go on.
No, that's pretty much it, man.
You're right. This cast is way too sexy for a TCM movie, man.
I'm still sitting here weirded out that's Trey Songz. Like, you guys know I've DJ'd at a strip club for almost a decade. You don't have any idea how much fucking Trey Songz I've played, but I've never seen the dude. But to know that was him is kind of blowing my mind. But I'm gonna give it a 2.5. It's not terrible. I'd probably check this one out again. It's not the worst of the franchise, that's for sure. So it's okay.
I love the ones that I love that y'all hate. Like it's not love. Love's a strong word. It's a scale. It's a scale.
What did you give it? Like a 3.5?
3.69 is what I gave it, bro.
2.5. That's not too far off.
It's Horrorfest though, man. Don't worry about it. Joe, what did you think about this one, man?
I think this is one of the best installments of the franchise. 2.5.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah.
Yep.
Joe's getting truncated right now. He's on the East Coast, man. I love that.
Yeah.
What about you, Jelani? What do you think?
2 movies.
Yeah, true. I'm still gonna talk though, because y'all, man, I love this movie. I really do. It's got so many plot holes though. It makes like so many people, like Scott Eastwood did not die in this movie, and he's like one of the main antagonists of the movie. You find out midway through, he's the mayor's son as the police officer, and like he doesn't die. How do they clean up the fact that the fucking mayor is dead? And by the way, one of the cleanest kills you see in this movie, like he gets his hand sawed off and he falls into a meat grinder. That shit's baller. That's just baller. And I would love to see that in 3D, even though it's fake blood. I hate that fucking digital blood. It's garbage.
Yeah.
But I still would have loved to see it. But Alexandra Daddario's titties in this movie saved me. Saved. She was a true detective. If you want to go see some real action, go find True Detective, like episode 2 or some shit like that. Oh my god! Oh my!
Delaney's that dude in Knocked Up. He's got that website.
Ooh, yeah, I'm that dude, and because I'm that dude, I know. But I saw True Detective organically and saw that episode with Matthew McConaughey and your boy Woody Harrelson.
Yeah,
that's
I really
season 1 is the shit.
I really feel like if they ever do another TCM movie, Woody Harrelson has to be in it.
He has to be in it. He has to be one of the fucking eaters, one of the cannibals. But this movie has so many wild, like just weird stretches. It's so ridiculous. Like this one is just like, this is what Next Generation like should have been, like as far as the weird scale. Like if you're gonna throw the Illuminati in, I would have thrown it in here and I've been like, okay, I believe it, and they're in that. The best part for me was like they're clearly in the van, they're clearly getting away, and Trey Songz stops the van long enough for Leatherface to walk up to the van and fuck up the damn the side of the van with his chainsaw. That shit was ball. I was like, why did you stop, you idiot? Keep driving. You keep driving. It was so much work for just little things, but at the same time, it was so much fun. And Taya Ramondi's hot. She cheated on, she was like the one. I like the little cheating thing that she had going on with Trey Songz.
This movie's sexy. This is sexiest of all of them,
This is
in
the
my opinion,
sexiest
right?
movie of all of them. It keeps you engaged, even though the plot is just hot trash. Like, she figures out that she's a Sawyer, like sitting in the police thing and looking in the evidence locker thing. It's so much work, but damn titties, y'all. Damn. This gets like this will get it like a you know what, Robbie? I'll go with you. 3.69, bro.
3.60. Hell yeah.
3.69,
We finally
bro.
agree about a Texas Chainsaw movie.
It's not bad. I don't mind it.
We gotta watch this. Dude, as soon as I finish this movie, I was like, I gotta watch this in 3D.
It's really good.
I really like this movie. I don't know why, other than the tit ass, but it's a decent enough story where these people deserve, like, everybody that died deserved to die. Like, I know it was a town secret.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, we killed all this whole family. Oh yeah, we good. We killed this family." But it's just so work. It's so much work, man. But it's good work.
All right,
And
so
then
we're on a high right now.
Right.
So Brooks,
Yeah.
maybe you can ground us. What do you think about Texas Chainsaw 3D?
It's all right. I mean, I like it a little better than most of them. It does have like parts about it that I do like. I kind of do like the fact that there's this like member of the family who's actually not fucked up because she like grew up outside of their influence. Even though her adoptive parents kind of fucking seem like they're pretty shitty too. So I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. He kicks the head in of the actual birth mother and steals the baby. That's kind of fucked up. That's a fucked up way to start, right?
And like the way they talk to her in the beginning of the movie, it's like they're just, you came from shit. I'm like, fuck you. It's like, what a piece of shit. Why do you even fucking take her then? Fucking idiot. But
Yeah, he's at the end. They're end credits, right? At the end of this movie. Did y'all know?
no.
Yeah, there's a mid-credit sequence. Yeah.
Is it mid credits? Oh yeah, I didn't watch the end. That's
Yes,
right.
it's the mid credits where they Leatherface shows up and kills her birth or the adoptive parents.
The adopted parents. Yeah.
Nice.
Huh. I would actually
And
like to see
it
that.
makes Leatherhead like.
Does that raise your
sympathetic.
score at all?
I don't have to watch it first. It might make me a little fonder of this movie. But overall, it's just an all right movie. I give it a 3.
I mean, Brooks is being the most fair and honest tonight. Let's be honest. Well, maybe Joe.
Always.
maybe Joe's being a bit honest too. All right, so I gave it a 3.69. Verno,
2.5.
Joe,
2.5.
Jelani, me, right? Same thing.
69, dude.
And Brooks,
3.
a 3.
Can I add one? Oh, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Go ahead.
One of the best moments in the franchise for me. One of the like, oh shit moments when the cop shoots the hostage. When he's going down there and she pops out of the freezer and he shoots the victim right in the fucking head. Like, that was great.
I forgot one more thing too. Have God Almighty. Brooks, remember that song I played you?
Yeah, God will fuck you up.
God gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
That's the best song in this entire franchise. Like, it's random too. And I'm like, it just pops up in this movie. And I'm like, oh yeah, I knew I would love this movie. Something about it. God's gonna fuck you up. He'll fuck you up.
I would say that the PCP average of this movie is 3.
Yeah.
Already enough 69s involved there. Next up, 2017. I didn't even know this movie existed. Leatherface. I bought this movie on Blu-ray. I immediately regretted it after watching this movie. This is my least favorite of the entire franchise. I'll tell you why very briefly. Nobody needed a teenage Leatherface fucking origin story. And the twist in this movie is the most obvious fucking twist I've ever seen. I knew it from the get-go. Oh, the chubby dude that looks like Leatherface is not going to be Leatherface because they think they're fucking smart. This movie sucks. 1. One you dig from me. What do you think, Verno?
This is the other one that I'm tempted to give it a 0.5, just because I did say there's worse ones than 3 that I gave a 1. So fuck it, I will. I can do whatever I want. I'll give it a 0.5. This is and you know what? I'll give it that because this is the first one that I watched and it set the tone. Like, I think I had heard that 2013 was pretty good or something, and I was getting Leatherface mixed up with it. I'm like, I think people say this one's pretty fucking good. I'll start there. And it was terrible. It's exactly what you said. I never figure out what the fuck the twist in a movie. I never. I'm like the best audience member. Like everything gets me. And this right away, I'm like, oh my God, this guy is gonna be Leatherface. If the turn where the girl in the previous movie, her heel turn was bad, when this dude turns and all of a sudden he's like handicap or something, like whatever the fuck is wrong with him, it's like the cringiest shit ever. So just because I can and because I do think it's the worst in the franchise, the one I enjoy the least, I'll give it a 0.5.
Fuck yeah, bro. I applaud that, man. I gave it a 1. That 1 is strictly for Steven Dorff. Like strictly. I have a crush. I've had a crush on him since Blade in 1998, right? Like I will dig anything. I'll give like he's fine in this movie. I'm cool with him in this movie. Everything else fucking sucks. The sad chick from fucking High Fidelity and The Haunting remake with Liam Neeson, like all of it sucks. This movie sucks. This is the worst of the whole fucking franchise to me. Joe, what do you think?
So you say this movie, you bore me.
Before I talk about that, I gotta say I appreciate, Robbie, that you said you liked you thought Steven Dorff was hot in Blade and not The Gate.
No, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's not where the infatuation started.
Yeah, so good on you, Robbie. But so I guess it's like it's somehow like I know we touched on it earlier. Like you had 2 prequels almost back to back. You had like a pretty good Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie for no reason in between 2 beyond unnecessary prequels. And at least the beginning has Arlie Irby like chewing the scenery. So I'm gonna give this a 1.
Nice. Is that 1 for Steven Dorff, man?
I mean, that 1 is like we're at the point where it's like it's technically a movie. There's sound, there's light. It's like it's fine. Steven Dorff is fine. He's barely in it.
Yeah.
Like,
he's good though. He's trying, man. He's trying so hard, dude. He's
working for that chick.
He's just trying to be relevant, man. I feel so bad for him sometimes. All right, Jelani. This lowly fucking scored so far. What do you think, Jelani, about Leatherface?
Well, Brooks and I watched this together. Real quick, Brooks, did you watch this again?
I did not.
Yeah. I didn't think you did.
Did you, Jelani? You watch it twice?
I was going to, and then I did not as well. It is it is the most unnecessary entry in all of these. It really is. You're right on a lot of levels, Joe. It's such a nothing burger. It's like those Hellraiser movies that they got a script and they were like, this isn't Leatherface. Let's just put Leatherface in it and make us a movie.
Don't you fucking dare compare Leatherface to any any fucking Hellraiser movie, man. Like, come on.
After 1 and 2, they just got
Revelations.
Yeah.
Maybe that one. But don't compare it to Inferno or Deader or Hellseeker. Fuck you, man.
They all suck, man. Those all fucking suck.
Those movies are sexy.
They're sexy bad. But Leatherface is like, it's a nothing burger of a movie. It is a waste of time and effort. It is like, why did you make this? Like when Brooks and I were watching it, I was like thinking that the big guy really was like Leatherface until they shot him in the head. Because during that movie, I wasn't paying attention. I could tell. It's like, oh, Jackson's the one. Jackson that turned out to be he's Leatherface because he got shot in the face. And then they put his face back together.
Was anybody else surprised by that twist? Raise your hand.
No, not really.
No,
I mean, I was just
it's
like,
so obvious.
I was just like, why did this happen? But this is the other thing too. So Steven Dorff comes in. Oh shit! Even before that, I'm sorry. Wait, the fucking dumbass girl, his daughter at the beginning. Fuck that stupid girl. She of all the people that I think are dumb in these movies, she is the dumbest.
Bro,
she got out. She
finds this creepy ass kid.
Finds a creepy cowhead kid
wearing a fucking animal corpse. Dude, what did she say? She goes, "You shouldn't be playing in the street."
You should be playing. Why are you here? Why did you come here? Why are you chasing this little boy with this cowhead on? Leave him the fuck alone. You already in the truck with your boyfriend. Go make out with your boyfriend. Live your life. Have babies. Your dumb ass follows the boy. God, I hate you. I hate you more than I hate Shock Top. I think you above Shock Top. I thought about it for a minute because when we came back from the break and I was watching the introspective and I forgot I saw the cowhead boy and the girl and she's like, "Woods, I'm walking into what? Fuck you, stupid! You deserve to die. You deserve to die twice." Steven Dorff, you had a dumb daughter and she's dead. What was it? There's another thing in this movie that bothered me. Everything. So this is Verno. This is a 0.5. This is the worst one because it's nothing. It doesn't deserve to exist. Like there is no reason for me to watch this. Like even the titties in this movie will burn up, and I was like, why?
Jesus Christ.
Why are they burned up? And that was what it was. Steven Dorff, after the death of his daughter, like, and Lily, what's her name, comes out, and she's the mama, and she's like, and he's like, "I'm gonna take your children. I'm gonna take all your children." I was assuming all the kids that were in the insane asylum were all fucking Sawyers, and they were just all fucking each other, and then like one of them got burned up titties, and I was so confused. No, in fact, during this movie, Brooks,
you're right though. There are two Texas Chainsaw movies that have nudity in them.
Yeah, and they don't have. Well, technically, she didn't have nudity. It's not nudity. It's a burn suit. It doesn't matter. Doesn't count. That also hurt my feelings, but that's beside the point. It's just, were they brothers and sisters? They like those the kid, like were they all related? Were they just toasty? It was just such a nothing movie. It was just waste of time, and I'm out. I'm sorry. There's so many little things I could nitpick about that movie from the only time I watched it, and I had to think about it because I forgot about it after we started talking about it. And that cowhead, that cowhead bullshit. Oh my god.
Speaking of cowhead bullshit, Brooks, is this the one that you liked? Tell us what you feel.
I'm gonna bring the hot takes here. I didn't like this one either very much. I don't care about how Leatherface came to be. Like I think Leatherface is a kind of character that needs a little bit of mystique to him. You know, like you don't have to not tell anything about story. Like maybe a little bit here and there, but like doing a whole movie about like how he came to be Leatherface, like it's just not very. I guess good. It's kind of it's not very interesting, is the thing. And for a while it feels like it's kind of gonna go down the path of being like the Devil's Rejects, where these escaped mental patients are like on a rampage, but it doesn't even do that. It just a very bland movie. I'd give this one a 1.5.
1.5. So a 1 from me. Verno?
0.5.
Joe?
1.
Jelani?
That was 0.5 with Verno.
Brooks?
1.5.
Let's say this is a PCP average of a 0.68. Let's just do that. All right, the last one I don't have on Blu-ray because Netflix has not allowed it to be released in a physical format. But the 2022 Texas Chainsaw Massacre, an original concept. They're doing a direct sequel to the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I like this movie, though. When it came out, I liked it. We covered it on Dylan's Horror Show. I liked it then. I liked it. Now I'm going to give it the same score, 3.5. Like, it's not a perfect film, but I enjoy it. And my favorite thing about this movie is that it has all these like early 20 yuppie fucking entitled, insufferable fucking Twitter heads out there, right? And they all get them on a bus together and just slaughter the fuck out of them. There's some amazing shots in this movie. There's some really cool parts of this movie that I really like. I like the sisters. I like the way it ends, where they like, you think that the two sisters are getting away together. One of them gets their heads fucking chopped off. The other one's in the auto-driven car, like doing the Sally bit. I don't know. There are things also that are dumb as fuck in this movie. The whole premise of this movie, these goddamn like,
dumb as fuck.
This dude's a fucking chef on Instagram. He's starting this whole thing where they're going to buy this fucking old Texas town or whatever and take it over. The whole idea of the John Wickification of Leatherface at his like 68 years of age.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's got his original chainsaw buried in a fucking wall. You know, like
It should have been Saw's
Doesn't have
family.
Saw's family that started either.
Yeah.
This should have said Saw's family.
The Texas
I'd have
Chainsaw
bought it.
Massacre to me soars when it's about a cannibalistic family. They did that in part 1 and part 2. They didn't really do that in any other movie. Maybe the beginning, but that was like a weird stretch as well.
Yeah.
But this movie I actually like. I like the look of Leatherface. I think it's creepy. Sally coming back is dumb as fuck. It's obviously just
dumb
like
as shit.
trying to be Halloween 2018.
Laurie
She's back.
Strode.
She comes back for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
She comes back.
And
She's
doesn't
like,
do shit.
tell me you remember my name. You
So
don't
stupid.
remember me. No.
She's so stupid. She the next dumbest of all. She ended up closing the gap of how stupid them kids were.
That's true.
All them stupid kids and all them stupid kids are dead for doing stupid shit.
But
She
I'll tell
finally
you
had
what,
her stupid
Jelani,
moment.
there is something about this movie that I enjoy. And it might be my third favorite Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. So I'm going to give it a 3.5. No, obviously Texas Chainsaw 3D is my third favorite because I gave it a 0.69. Hotter people in that movie, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
To be honest, the entire cast.
Yeah.
There's nobody
It's a
hot in this
cleaner
movie.
movie.
Well,
No, this
the mechanic
movie's
is
full
hot.
of nerds.
The-
Most of them look like nerds.
Yeah.
The curly-haired girl's got a rocking
Both
body,
Hemsworth.
but you don't see it much.
Yeah.
But
Well, I'll
there's
tell you
one
this.
angle where you're like, oh shit, hold on.
I do like that this movie is trying to be like actually kind of commenting on the culture at the time, at least the online culture at the time, where it's like woke, go broke, or super fucking this way, the opposite of whatever that woke or whatever the fuck the opposite of that is. It's like playing with both of those. And it's being like, y'all are all fucking stupid, right? Like Leatherface is more sane than everybody on the extremes of shit, right? Because we're dealing with real shit. And one of the things I like about this movie is that like you could argue who's the main character, but the main character, the final girl, she's a survivor of a school shooting. But there are people that are like sticking up for her, like maybe overly sticking up for her because of what she went through. And then people that are like you get the idea that her sister, who's like liberal, would be like more like on her side, but it's the dude who has the gun on his hip who like goes, oh, that's gotta be rough to live with. I like how they're playing with that kind of stuff, man. 3.5. I like this film. I still like it. I still like it today. I watched it last night. A weekend of partying, spending time with people I love, drinking tequila. I had a store meeting that night where I had to go and like do one of those lame ass fucking speeches every time you had like an employee meeting and the manager has to get up there and like give you a speech. Dude, I felt so fucking lame that night, right? But I did it. I came home, had a couple shots of tequila, watched this movie, loved it just as much as before. 3.5. What do you think, Verno?
I laughed earlier when you said your score because I hate when my score is so fucking close to yours. We did this on DHS, I watched it twice that week and I hated it the first time and I was like, okay, it's not that bad the second time. This is the last movie that I watched. I watched it today, so I've been through some shit. I've seen hell. You know what I mean? And going through the franchise, there was a point where I'm like, they need to cut out all the family shit. I'm like, I do not care about Leatherface lineage. Just, I get it. It was a thing at the beginning, saw his family, but it doesn't work. So just chill on that. Do one where they chill on that. And then the other thing I was thinking is no one has just made like a fun slasher movie out of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Even 2, 2 isn't set up like a slasher at all. Like Brooks was saying earlier, it's just like the first one. I don't know where Brooks is at, but while he's gone, I don't get what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, me
It's
either.
nothing like the fucking first one. Completely different. And that's kind of what
He
makes it
actually
cool.
used
It's
his
not
name
a
against
slasher
her.
at all. This is a totally different story. But this one, they make it a fun slasher. They cut out all the family stuff. They just made a fun slasher with probably by far the best kills in the franchise. Great cinematography, decent characters. Robbie, you mentioned like the messaging. They don't like shove anything down your throat. Originally, when I watched it, I think even when I saw the previews, I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be super woke. And it just gave you that vibe. It was going to be like 2022, you know? But watching it now, a year removed, like it's not. It presents a lot of the ideas of stuff that was going on at the time, that is going on at the time. It doesn't really preach at all about any of them. It just puts them in the movie and, you know, lets you think about it or whatever. So, and it's not too much. You don't want too much of that in a slasher anyway. But I'll give it a 3.5, man. It might be the most fucking rewatchable one in the whole franchise. Like I watched it today. I could easily throw it on after this. It's like it's a beautiful movie. And Leatherface, I don't think I thought he was very cool looking before, but now like I'm a little bit more intimately familiar with the fella for hanging out with him this past month. And he's really badass in this one. It might be as cool as he is since the first one.
Dude, that scene in the Sunflowers where the chick's surviving and she's like, oh my gosh, she's trying to get on the radio and they show you that nobody's fucking listening. Yeah. Right? Like, it's like, oh my God, like that's actually really well done. This movie's really, I like this movie. Joe, what do you think?
Yeah. I really like this movie. It's way better than it has any right to be. It's also one of the shortest ones. I think it's like 83 minutes.
Yeah.
Like it's a real get out. There's a bunch of stuff, like you're saying with social commentary, that's like very like clear, you know, like you said with the influencers, he's like chopping them up in the bus, which is a great scene. But there's also some stuff in it that they do that's like a little more subtle. Like it's not that it's super subtle, but they don't do the thing where the characters then like talk about it and really point it out. Like that you have these like, you know, like quote unquote, like these woke liberals coming in and you assume they have like a certain set of values, and they're the two who are trying to forcibly evict an old disabled woman and her disabled son. And like things like that they're doing, and they're making it a point to show it without, like, you don't have a guy straight up say it that way. Right. Like there are people in town who are just like, what are you doing, man? Don't you know that old lady's crazy? Like, you're gonna kill her. Like, but no one comes up to them and does the whole thing where it's like, I thought you city folk were defending those in their homes and not evicting them like the big banks and the corporation. You know, they don't do that. But like I thought it was really cool how they were adding those sort of things to it, and that some of it was very clear and some of it was left to your imagination. So you can get what they're going for, but you can also read a little more into, like, it just felt like a really well crafted movie. Like,
how odd,
like,
for this franchise.
And exactly to what, you know, we were talking about before with this, with like get rid of, who gives a fuck about the family? Just people just want to see Leatherface killing people,
right?
And you know, it's they cut a lot of that dead weight. They're just like, let's get a bunch of cool deaths. You know, let's do the thing. Like, and it felt different. Like, it felt like the past, part of why the past 4 movies, like the remake, the beginning, 3D, and Leatherface, like part of what hurts all of those movies is that they all have that same feel of the Michael Bayification, like the early 2000s to the mid 2000s. Every mainstream horror movie looks the same, sounds the same. It's all fucking garbage. And this one, it's shot different. It looks different. It sounds different.
Yeah.
You know, which is nice. So yeah, I'm also giving this a 3.5.
Fuck yeah, man. But we can all agree it's all stupid when they like build up the whole Sally character just to show up to be like, you don't remember me and to get killed. Like,
Here's
Dude.
the thing, though. I feel like that was 100% intentional as a fuck you to Halloween for doing that because it came out, you know.
Bro,
3
maybe I got to
years or
rethink my
whatever.
rating now. You're right.
Dude, you were talking earlier about dark comedy. I don't think it's meant to be comedy, but like if watching it this time, knowing what's about to happen, like the whole 2-minute buildup, it was like really fucking funny to me. Like knowing that she was about to die and she's super dramatic about it. It's like, oh my God, it's in a bad way, but it's
how
hilarious.
awesome would a 2018 Halloween's been if Michael's like, I don't know who the fuck you are, Lori. Right? Like who gives a shit about you? Like that's actually, bruh. I'm changing mine to 3.69.
Excellent.
No, I'm sticking it at 3.5.
That's fair.
Yeah, because it is still dumb. Anyway, Jelani, what do you think?
I got a hot take. No, I don't. I absolutely love this movie. This movie is like, this is the best Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie to me, in my opinion. To me, because it's a straight pure slasher movie. That's what I thought the first movie. The first movie is awesome. Do not get me wrong, but this one puts it over the edge to me because it's colorful, it's crazy, it's not as dirty, it doesn't have the family in it. I like Alice Cridge. She's the Borg queen from First Contact, and I think she passed away a while back. But I love her character. I love how she just plays this aloof lady who has this old delusional lady that has a crazy killer, and it is absolutely fantastic. I don't know what it is about this movie. Like, in every character in this movie really deserved to die. I really wanted every single one of them to die. Not one likable character. That's how you set up kills. I'm not sympathetic to Leatherface that way. 3D did that too. It was where he was kind of sympathetic, like you feel kind of bad for Leatherface because all these things. But I'm like, nah, son, he's a straight up killer boss in this one. This is like if Michael Myers was given a chainsaw and just came after you and won't stop and cannot stop. And the girl that got her head sawed off at the end, she deserved to die. And her friend, the chef, he deserved to die the way he did. That was a great kill. And his girlfriend, the way she got killed, that was awesome in this movie. The cinematography for this is shot beautifully. The whole crash, the way the crash is shot, the way they're just sitting in the car in the truck, and she's like trying and scared and trying to run away. I love that scene. It's just such build up to it. This is my favorite one. This is my absolute favorite one. I've watched it now probably 4 times, the same as the first movie. And I watched this one back to back. Like, I watched it and then I watched it again because I was like, it was in the middle of the day and I was off. And I was just like, I watched it
twice in a row. Like, you like, let me start.
I love this shit. It was just so good. And I'm like, it ended well. I like the school shooting aspect, the girl from the school shooting aspect of it. It gives a perspective. It gave a final girl feeling to it. There's just so many just wonderful things I can say about this movie. And I gave it a 5 back when I first watched it in 2022, because like there was nothing good that was coming out at that time. And I gave it a 5. You know what? I'm sticking with it. I'm giving it a 5. 5 you digs.
Damn.
5 you digs. I love this movie. Now, it's a horror movie. This is what you want. You kill a bus full of people with a chainsaw. The only thing this movie needed was the Saw's family chainsaw that he would have busted up out the wall. That would have been the best part about this. It'd have been Saw's family killing all them stupid ass people, them hipster damn Twitter file. God, I hate that. Oh, I hate woke. I hate that word, but they ruined such a good song. Redbone is such a good song.
Well, they ruined a meaning. Like, what that's a whole other discussion, not for this show.
It is.
Anyway, a 5 you digs from Jelani.
5, baby.
All right,
5.
Stay woke, bro. Stay woke. All right, what about you, Brooks? What do you think
Y'all
about
ruined a
Texas
damn good
Chainsaw
film.
Massacre 2022?
I liked it. I was so surprised actually how much I liked this movie. It kind of it keeps in the spirit of the original while kind of doing its own thing as well. It kind of feels like, you know, this in the same kind of vein of like, you know, people who are wandering off of their path, you know, who are going like people who don't know what they're doing, you know, going off and they wake up, you know, basically the demon Leatherface. And I like how it's very blunt about what Leatherface is. He's just a guy and he just kills people. Like, you know, simple. That's all you really need, you know.
Mhm.
And like I'm glad that there weren't any other family members aside from like his caretaker lady. And I thought a lot of the characters were very like very 2020s, you know. But I didn't find them to be particularly irritating, except for like, you know, the people partying on the bus. They were pretty annoying. And I did think that the joke of like, we'll cancel you, bro. I thought that was a dumb joke. But the slaughter that takes place after it was legit. The kills are really good in this
Dude,
movie.
and when they're in the fucking like bathroom of the bus and the blood's like leaking underneath the fucking door, that's dope, man. That's really
Yeah,
good.
I liked when, you know, she goes out the window and he just like
Yep.
falls in half. I thought that was pretty neat. Like they
Awesome
did
kills.
the kills good in this movie.
Oh yeah.
This is a
Amazing
good
kill.
kill. This is an awesome kills.
The dude's leg too. We haven't mentioned that. That is a great.
Yeah.
Oh, when he hit, that was.
Yeah.
That
Oh yeah,
was
when
done
he
really
slammed the hammer on his leg. Oh yeah.
Oh,
the
girl
first
getting the
fucking
shit on her head.
in the
Hemsworth.
goddamn ambulance where he breaks the
Hemsworth.
dude's arms and then like
Yeah, the
stabs
first
him.
stabs him in the
on
throat.
top with his own
I
arm
love
bones was
this
pretty
movie.
awesome.
Then the cop gets shot right after.
I am
mean,
changing
it's
mine to a
great.
3.69. God damn it,
I
that's
love this
fucking
movie,
dope as
man.
shit. Come on,
I
y'all.
love this movie.
Nice.
This is, and by the way, this is the most we've talked about a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not. This is the most we've had fun talking about a Texas Chainsaw. It's amazing. It's just amazing to me. I'm sorry, Brooks. Keep going.
I give this one a 4.
Oh shit, nice.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite reach the heights of the original, but it's pretty close. It's pretty
what a journey tonight. This is awesome.
Hell yeah.
It's like if my advice for watching this movie is like just watch the first one and this one.
And this one.
You don't need to watch
And that's
any of
it.
the other ones.
This is the
That's it.
Freddy's Dead
3D.
of this franchise review. We
Yeah,
all
it is.
loved Freddy's Dead.
Yeah.
And we're all nervous that nobody else will like it.
Yeah. I love
We're
this
all
movie.
worried that we're going to be the only one who likes Freddy's Dead.
right.
Yeah.
That actually happened, Joe, last year where we were like, oh, I'm going to be the only one that likes this movie. We all liked Freddy's Dead. It was
Yep.
so weird. But everyone is like, I know nobody's going to like this movie, but I'm going to give it
Yeah.
Amazing.
a 4 from fucking Brooks. That's fucking awesome. You are exactly who this movie was made for, then, Brooks. Right?
Angelini, evidently.
Yeah, Angela, and all of us apparently. All right, so
And it didn't have titties. And you don't have to have titties in movies to enjoy them. This is just a beautiful movie. It's just a beautiful movie.
All
Beautiful
right.
film.
3.69 from me, 3.5 from Joe and Verno. Brooks, you gave it a 4.
Mhm.
Jelani, 3.5, right?
Yeah. 3.5, son.
That's a PCP average of 3.69, which means I was right. So there you go.
Boom.
Yeah. All right. What a great franchise review, y'all. So what a way to kick off Horrorfest. What a fuck. I'm so proud of everybody here tonight. We made it through the TCM franchise, y'all. We made it through it all. And like, Brooks, I get what you're saying, man, about the franchise overall. Jelani, I get it too. Joe, I get it. But like, that's why I did Hellraiser, Nightmare, Phantasm, I did so many other franchises before this one because I knew what would happen. But it led to a
Build
great
up an
conversation.
immunity.
Yeah.
When are you gonna do the Psycho franchise?
Oh,
We
we
did.
did that on Dylan's horror show, but we actually need to do
Nice.
it here
We need
because we could
Psycho.
dive in a little bit better. Like,
Oh well, yeah. I
and,
didn't think that was right.
and Psycho 2, such a fucking monumental film, man. I fucking love
Right?
Psycho 2. Psycho 2 is the best sequel to any of this kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'd argue that. But don't worry, we're gonna end it with the Saw franchise. So we still got some struggle to come.
Lord.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I've
I think
seen all
that's
of
going to
those.
be much better. I haven't seen almost
Oh.
any of those besides the first two.
I watched
That's
a
got to
good
be
bit of
better
those
than
in the
this.
theater. Yeah.
One
yeah,
would
I watched-
hope so, Verno. All right, so Horrorfest has just started. Maniac over at Dylan's Horror Show. Check out the replay. Check out this replay. Check out our review of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre that we did for March Madness a couple years ago. However, Horrorfest continues. Thursday night, over at Blood Splatter Chatter with Don't Breathe,
Nice.
led by my man Verno. Saturday night, join me over at Dylan's Horror Show for The Howling. We've already done this, actually, here on Horrorfest for PCP Movie Night, but I'm excited to have this conversation again. But join us next week for Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter, y'all. The template of what Blade was based on for the most part. This dude smokes weed, kills vampires, and has sex.
Yep.
Oh.
Lots of
That's
things.
what
Same
I want
time.
my life to be.
Hammer.
You know what I'm saying? We smoke, we slay, and we play. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do it, man. Anyway, thank you everybody for being here. We got a long, fantastic Horrorfest ahead of us. We are just getting started. Over 50 movies discussed, over 30 shows across 3 channels. It's truly the most epic Horrorfest yet. Verno, thank you for being here. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I think the uniqueness of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it's like an undefinable subgenre. It's a slasher. People argue it's not, but it is. But it's something more than that. It being what it was, it's unreplicatable, and it's why this franchise fucking sucks. Because people have tried to do that, like, oh, we're gonna make it really weird and all that, and you can't do that. Or nobody has been able to accomplish that since. So that's pretty much where we're at. But that first one, maybe the greatest horror movie of all time.
Fuck yeah. And join you Thursday night.
Yes, sir. Don't breathe, dude. It's going to be awesome. 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Going to have a bunch of the homies there. It's going to be a blast, dude.
And at the same time, we're doing the monthly comic book review. So sorry, Verno, for the way that worked out. But, watch us on the replay. Watch him live. That's what I would say. Joe, trade paperback of Never Ending Party. Out recently. I know that. So why don't you tell us what's coming up? Plus, you got Sheena coming up as well, right?
Yeah, I got that. Dahlia in the Dark is available for trade paperback. What was it? Kickstarter backers are probably going to get their copy of Sharp Wit soon, which I have a story in. You can also get the trade paperback that also came out last week of Chilling Adventures Presents from Archie. I have 2 stories in that.
You got some great stories in that, actually.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I love them. I think I did a very good job.
I
agree,
Joe.
Thank you.
Good job, Joe.
And then other than that, I should have another book announced this week. I'm also in the middle of putting together a one shot I'll be shopping around. So things are moving. And yes, Sheena should be out towards the end of September, I think, is when issue 1's out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Also, Joe is working on his original pitch right now for Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 10, which discounts all of the trilogy except for Part 4. So it's a direct sequel to 1 and 4, and then Joe's vision of it, right?
We need more soft prequels, I think.
Jelani, thank you for being here. Final thoughts.
This was a blast, man. Actually, I was surprised that we were gonna rate these movies the way we were, because I was hate watching most of them. I was like, man, I hope I'm not like the black spot of what it is, be angry the entire time. But it turned out that we all shared the same kind of thoughts and stuff about these, man. So I'm really glad that we had this discussion too. Brooks and I have this channel, Go Figure Reviews. I didn't give you any stills for this one because I didn't have them in time. We have a review of a Krang figure from the Loyal Subjects that we're gonna we dropped the one from what is it Best Accent, BST Accent, I'm not sure,
AVX or some shit like that, right?
Yeah. They're pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty good figures, man. And this Krang was awesome. And I've got, what was the other one we did? We did the Diabolical Snake
Snake Men.
Invasion, the Snake Men and He-Man 4-pack that came out recently for Mattel. So we have that review as well. Check us out on Go Figure Reviews. We have 262 subscribers now.
Yeah, baby.
So we're rising slowly, but I like it. I like it. It's for me, it feels like a good accomplishment for a year.
It is, brother.
We've got like, thank
Well,
you.
look how long it took the Texas Chainsaw franchise to get good for you, Jelani. You know, it took a
Yeah.
while. Yeah,
It only
took
took to the last movie for it to be good.
it only took 50 fucking years.
Yeah, yeah. Never watched the other ones except the first one.
Hell yeah. Thank you for throwing out the links. Appreciate that. Brooks, final thoughts?
Now, you can forget a lot of things in life, but one thing you can never forget is that the Saw is family.
That's right. We should just end it there, but I'm just gonna say, Horrorfest continues Thursday night. Don't Breathe over at Blood Splatter Chatter. Saturday night, The Howling over at Dylan's Horror Show, and next week here on PCP for PCP Movie Night, Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter. It's one of my favorite movies, y'all. I hope you enjoy it. I really do. We're gonna have Dylan and Scarpad with us, and Mike the Voice Matthews, believe it or not. So it's gonna be a fun show, one way or another. It's gonna be great. Check out that film. It's really cool. I really like it. And like the Texas Chainsaw movies, I will just say, I don't know, eat people. I don't know how to end this, so I'm just going to say station, pop, pop, boom. And fuck, Brooks stole my Saw's family, but Brooks, do that shit again.
Yeah.
Just do it again. Do the whole thing again. Do the quote again, man.
The Saw's family?
Yeah, do the Saw's family quote again, please.
Okay. You can forget several things in life, but one thing you can never forget is that the Saw is family.